Oh, Lord Jesus. All right, you guys, welcome to. Okay, Brianna's not here, as you can tell. So, therefore, you all have me until Brianna walks in, and she's coming in right now. So, anyway, welcome to something to talk about our Christmas program, Christmas broadcast. Brianna's coming in just in the nick of time because I have nothing else up but this. I don't know what happens. Sometimes I click a button and something doesn't go right. But anyway, it's all good because we're here. All right, hold on. Dr. Fight is here this afternoon. Woo! All right, you guys. So, Brianna, come on because I'm running behind, girl. I don't know what happened. I couldn't get to the station. The broadcasting. I don't know what I did. Oh, God. Shit, got to squeeze in here. All right. So, it is. I started the show right.
We started the show.
Oh, what the hell was that background I got back there?
That's Dr. Fight.
Yeah, well, I couldn't get to that one. Okay, there you go. You gotta tell you, I don't know what I did. I don't know what that one was. That's an old one. Okay. See, she come in. She has to get right on down and get right to the nitty gritty. I try to have things up before she walks in, but some days it works and some days it does not work. Okay. Some days it does not work. You popped on, huh? What happened? No.
I think you maybe more so use the error than
What the,
mm,
what the heck is that? Oh. we can,
want to slow down.
we can. Oh, okay. All right. Can we change the back? Oh, that was it. Oh, okay. Great. I know what it was. I forgot which one it was. Apparently, because I remember the other one that I did. Anyway, you guys, welcome to Wow. I figured that's why I said I figured it was. You got to come out stupid train.
I was fine. I will be on the dot. Like dirty some.
You know, it was
Y'all trying to stop my greatness. Y'all just
you go ahead and do it. You can go ahead and do my intro and I'll re over again because. And then if you look at my notes, I guess I
It's something to talk about with Dr. Fight, Brianna Murray, and L. Ellis. A weekly roundup of current events and what's happening in our world.
because you know me, Brandon's getting show already. I thought I did, but you never know with me. I mean, sometimes I click a right button and it works. Sometimes I click a button and it does not work. Today was one of those days. Decided not to work. Plus it's Monday and it's Christmas week. I'm not gonna even get upset with myself because so far I think I've done pretty well for the part of the year. So I'm very happy with myself. And as you know, before we get started, we always have to have a great message from Dr. Fight, and that message is coming up. Brianna got it hooked up, I think.
no, I'm downloading something.
Oh, so she's still working on it. But anyway, so you know what? It's not freezing cold, but I think we're gonna probably hover around 45 or 50 for this winter. I mean for this Christmas, which is fine by us because we still will not it won't be freezing. And the more important, we won't have any snow. We know how some people love to say, "Oh, I want a white Christmas." Look here. If you want a white Christmas,
Hard pass.
yeah, as Brandon said, a hard pass. We're gonna just go on without that. We had it at the start of November, through the whole month of November.
Right,
We had the snow, the ice, everything. And here comes Dr. Fight's message. What's Dr. Fight's message today?
Great day, ladies and gentlemen. Journey with me, if you will, to Luke chapter number 2, verse number 6. And it declares, "And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she would be delivered." Ladies and gentlemen, this text is tailored to teach us on today that we have to learn how to fix our minds on enduring, because giving up is not an option. What if Mary would have given up? Where would she be? God orchestrated and ordered her steps so that our Savior, the Christ child, was born in a barn, not a palace. And things may not be ideal. They may not be perfect, but They're just right for the hand of God to move in our lives. The days were accomplished is what the Bible says. And she didn't give up. She didn't give in. She didn't go under. She didn't buckle under pressure. How? Because I believe she was focused on the promise that she was carrying. I know that it seems to hurt, and she's not focused on the pain, but the promise. Even though people are talking, but the shout of this is she believed in God that she was carrying something great. And you too, my friends, are carrying something great. So believe in the promise of God so that you can make it to your finish line and keep on enduring, because God has a promise in your life and over your life. Let me pray with you. Dear Lord, this week, increase ideas, enlarge imagination, eliminate issues, extinguish insecurities, and energize the economy in our lives. By the way, I'm not crazy, but I got enough faith that God can do it. Amen. See you next week if God says the same. Grace and peace.
There you go. All right, you guys. See, there you go. Welcome back. Welcome back to Christmas 2025. Something to talk about. Woo, 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 woo. Thank God we're walking just in the nick of time, because you know what, I started going a little crazy. But on Mondays it never fails. Like on Tuesdays I'm fine. But you guys only get us one day this week because we are literally Christmas week. So Christmas is Thursday. Yay! We are like 4 days right now. You 4 days.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. That's what you want me to add?
Yes, that's me. Ooh, there's a lot going on.
Are you what? Are you talking? Or are you here? What?
He here.
Oh, here.
I am talking. Yeah, you don't hear me?
I hear you. I'm just trying to see, because sometimes you'll be on the phone or doing
I
something else.
am on
You talking to
I
me?
am on the phone. I am driving.
Oh
I'm
Lord.
on my way home because, well, it's a long story, but I'm on my way home.
He multitasking. He's doing a whole lot of stuff right now. I just want you to be safe first and foremost.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You you,
That
you know.
makes me actually think that you care.
Oh, he is. You know what? I just what I was going to say. I missed you. Then you mess it all up. Then you say something.
You never said you miss me. You
Well,
miss me?
I was going to say, well, we missed you, but then you opened up your mouth, and then they were out. It all went.
Well, you can miss me. It's okay.
It's like sparring with your little brother on a regular basis. I miss that sometimes. There you go. Okay, so let's get into who's on my. I'm gonna try to keep it nice today because it's not gonna happen. But I'm gonna try to keep it nice today because we're in the Christmas week, and I'm gonna have try to put out good vibes. But I got to get through the nonsense first. I'm not gonna be able to make it. So anyway, first story is Robin Crawford. She's been trending, and people may ask, who is Robin Crawford? Well, she was Whitney Houston's girlfriend through high school,
Hmm?
and yeah, right until she got her contract with Clive Davis. Rumors have been swirling for decades about Whitney Houston's, whether she was a lesbian, not straight, with gay, straight, or whatever. So Robin's putting out a book, and she's talking about their friendship, relationship, and how they ended up having to break things off right after she signed with Clive, because they were redoing her image, and it wasn't going to be a good look for her image. In the late '80s and the '90s, people wouldn't really be accepting of that. And so her family's pushing back and saying they don't really want her to tell her story. But really, that's her story. You can't stop someone from sharing their story and their memories of someone who they cared about. But it's not. Robin was like always out there anyway, and people always talked about her. Whitney's relationship, but they always coined it as they were really good friends. They were best friends. But it was more to it than that. And so now Robin's telling the story, and they don't like it. Right. That's what I'm saying. But to me, they were a part of Whitney's drug issue because she was not allowed to be herself. She always had to be on for other people. Because who are they right now with? Well, okay, I'll sound gonna be nice. Well, when how Bobby got together, who really thought that was like a good pairing? Everybody was like, "What?" So to me, since she couldn't be with the person she really wanted, which was Robin, She chose the complete opposite of who people thought she should be with, and that was Bobby. So that was maybe like a punch to people saying this is what you should do, and she said, "Okay, watch this." Not that she probably didn't care for Bobby. Not gonna say that much, but there was some other stuff going on there. Dr. Fight, your thoughts?
Why do people wait for for somebody to die to then not tell your truth? That's my only problem. Like Whitney ain't here to speak for herself,
Uh-huh.
but you gonna wait till she gone to not want to say something about your high school. Like you grown now, let it go. Let it go. If you're broke, say you're broke and you need some money. Do a GoFundMe or something. But come on now, don't write your truth when the other person can't speak theirs.
But see, here's is it
Pop
really
that tea.
is it not really her truth because she was like I can't tell my true story because when Whitney was still alive because she probably had Whitney always coming to her. My family don't want you to say this or that or the other. So she really couldn't tell her truth at that time.
No, she wanted to respect and honor Whitney at that
Okay.
time so she can have her career without that scrutiny. She
Hmm.
could have always told her truth. She just decided to honor Whitney's request not to at that time. Now that Whitney's dead, all of a sudden, now that request is out the window and now you want to say something? Come on, just let it go. You in high school. Let it go. I mean, look, I dated a lot of people in high school.
We
If
know.
they felt like they wanted to write, oh, whoa, wait a minute now. Somehow we know. Okay. I wasn't looking for an amen in that moment. Okay. But anyway, if they wanted to write a book talking about I was with Dr. Spike in high school, okay, well, nobody want to read that. Nobody care. It was in high school. You know how long ago I graduated high school?
But you don't think people would care? Okay, well, listen. Once your name you become bigger and bigger, and you think that people don't. When you have a story to tell, they're not going to want to tell a story about you. You know they're going to want to
Listen,
do that.
anybody that go buy this book or read this story or want to know
Like I like must have went through a non bad connection area. Okay, I believe that. See, I think they miscalculated. Whitney has had a beautiful voice, and I think that no matter what whether Robin came out and she said she was, they both said they were a couple lesbians or whatever at that time. I think remember my wife. I think at my wife. I think at the moment, I think people would have still loved Whitney Houston music, regardless of her sexual orientation at that time.
Hello.
I'm here. You went to a bad area, I guess. Hello. Yeah, yeah.
I
So,
can't hear.
so I think Robin should go ahead and push back and tell your story. I'm okay with it. Now, am I going to buy a book to read about it? Probably not. But to me, it's okay for her to share what it is that she wants to share. I think it's okay. I'm not going to be mad at her for doing that. I mean, to me, all she's doing is answering questions that people have had for years about Whitney and Robin. Maybe Whitney felt like a tortured soul. You know, enter. Okay, maybe. Oh shoot.
Great day, ladies and gentlemen. Journey with me, if you will, to Luke chapter number 2.
Nope. No, Dr. White was hit. He entered somewhere else, so I was trying to put it up there. He said add him to it was somewhere that came up. I have to because
Right here?
but yeah, I think so. That just came in.
My
Yeah.
bad.
Okay.
Thomas called me. Thomas called me when we were on the show, and my phone went haywire. I don't know why,
Because it was
but
Thomas Cole.
what I was saying was anybody who care to know about this woman's story from high school ain't got nothing else better to do with their life and their time. And she obviously don't have nothing else better to do with her life and her time but to write about her high school days. Like, did this cause her any grief or trauma moving on? If so, then she need a therapist. She don't need a book deal. You trying to build your life and career off a woman who's deceased, who made a name for herself. And I just think that that is deplorable in my book. Like,
Ooh,
let the woman rest in peace. Why you gotta be able to tell your truth on the death in the back of somebody who ain't here?
well, no, I agree with you to a certain extent, but it is still her story, and she has a right to share it.
No, okay. I think the statute of limitations of sharing it left when Whitney died. If
what
she
I
didn't share it before Whitney died, then don't now feel like you need to share it because she ain't here.
Well, I think the smarter thing would have been to right after Whitney passed, or like this respectable amount of time, maybe like 6 months or whatever. I think she should have shared it then, because then people would have still been interested. I don't think.
I think when she died, it's done. I think all these people that want to talk about them and somebody else that ain't here, no, I don't care to hear if I can't validate this by the other person you talking about. And since they dead, who gonna validate it? I could be buying a fictional novel, yeah, novel. I don't know if this true or not.
I mean, but still, would it be a good read though? That's what you have to say. Would it still be a good read?
For who? I don't care to read fake news.
Yeah. Oh, don't you start the fake news stuff. Mm-mm. Leave me alone with the fake news. Well, Robin, I wish you the best of luck, honestly, with your book, because I think she has a right to share her story. So I wish the woman the best of luck. And Whitney's family has always tried to control the narrative of what people heard and saw and thought about Whitney, which I think most families will always try to put out the best look for their family. So and I don't think the book is going to harm Whitney's her legacy in any way. I don't. I just think it's
I'm gonna
sad
tell y'all right now.
her truth.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. When I leave here, if somebody try to write a book about me, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a lie. From the pit of hell, it's a lie. Tell you right now. If
What in
somebody
the
write
world?
any book, I don't care what it's about. It could be about I was the greatest. If I ain't here to validate what they is a lie until I tell you it's true.
Oh my
I'm
God.
telling you right now. Anybody try to write anything about me, I'm gonna tell you if it's true or not. Now I admit I got some stories that can be told in my day. However, if I ain't here to tell them, then they lying on me. I just need you to operate under that premise. They all lies unless I verify it. And if I'm dead, I can't verify it. So they all lies. Period.
Oh my God. Well, I'm not gonna buy into that. I'm not gonna buy into that because someone will be able to verify some things that be some truth about some parts of it. Somebody around because you didn't
Mm.
live in a bubble. You didn't live in a bubble. So there's someone out there who can verify certain things that might end up in a book about you.
Let me tell you, if any man ever comes and say, I want to write a book about the time I was, told that I couldn't go public with Dr. Fight, now that's a lie. You hear me? LIE, all caps,
He said it's a lie. It's
all
not, it's,
caps.
it's not all a lie, yo. I'll stop it.
Now, if a female came and said, I was, now that might be true, but it's a lie until I verify it, okay? You ain't about to get rich on my back on a
Yeah.
lie.
Well, you know
You
what?
remember you remember when that dude wrote that book about doing that surgery with no anesthesia, and Oprah picked it up and wanted to interview the man. It became New York Times bestseller because Oprah picked it up. And
I
come to find out,
don't
he
know.
was lying the whole time.
You know what I thought you was getting ready to say? Do you remember that scene from the movie? What you call it, Passenger 57? Because that was the opening scene on from the movie from the film Passenger 57. He was going to have the surgery, and he didn't know use no anesthesia. That's what I thought you was going to talk about. I don't know why, but yeah. But I did not hear that book. I did not see. I did not read a book, hear a book, anything like that. No, I did not. No, I did not. Brian, I honestly did not hear a book like that. So wherever he got to me he got it from the movie because I wouldn't have never. But then again, okay, if Oprah had all these people working on her staff that's supposed to verify certain things, how were they able to? How was she able to bring this book this on and this man was not telling the truth? That's the bigger story. So yeah, so I'm confused about that one. I'm confused about that. All right, so let's get going. Okay, so over the weekend, Brian McKnight. Hey, you guys who are popping on, what's it called? For all you guys who are just popping on, welcome to the show on Facebook. You know what I had to do before I forget, because we're always live. We always say on Facebook and Instagram. You guys, for some reason, my settings were off, and so if you guys didn't see it, it's because my settings were they weren't set correctly. So now, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, the settings have been readjusted. So you guys should be seeing us now across social media. I don't know. I started reading something. I said, well, let me double check those settings, and they were all set off. So they've been set correctly now. So let's get into our second story. Brianna and I think Dr. Fight, they just love this story. So I think. So no, they don't. But anyway, Brian McKnight is back in the headlines. I don't think he ever left because he's always saying something off the chart, off the wall, something very, very strange. So anyway, his ex-wife has had a chance to refute some of the comments or some of the statements. Let me correct myself. Some of the statements that he's made about their early life together and how they end up married and things like that. I think how the story started to grow was because McKnight had come out and said during an interview that, oh, he's so in love with his current wife. He's never known love like this. The first woman he's ever really loved. I mean, it's just so intense and it's so beautiful. And then he just went on and on and on and on and on to oh okay. So anyway, so the ex-wife was talking, and she said, "Well, let me clarify some things." And I think Brian McKnight Jr. was also there next to her, and they said, "Let me clarify some things." So she went on to say that first of all, their families were all really tight. She said her parents, because her parents were still married to this day, and his parents, and they all were a very, very close group of people. They knew if there was going on in their lives, about the kids, whatever. So as Brian was getting ready, preparing to go off to college, he met her. What's her name? Tammy, the ex-wife? Julie. So he met her. They started dating. They said it was really intense romance. Of course, as teenagers do, they start, becoming sexually active, things of that nature. And she said she ended up, he was on his way, said he was leaving, because I think they're from Baltimore, I thought, or somewhere. New York.
Wait, no, Florida. New York, somewhere
up in there. So he was getting ready to head off to LA.
Yeah.
And then she ended up getting pregnant. And so that's how they ended up. So they wanted to be together, but she had said that her parents made it perfectly clear to him that because she was expecting, they didn't have to be married. Now keep in mind, this was in the 90s. They didn't have to get married. And then she said even that her aunt was really close to his family as well, and said the same thing directly to him, to his face, while they were all sitting there, and said, just because she's pregnant, you don't have to be married. His response was, "Oh, I'm so in love with her. I can't, I want a life with her. We want to raise our kid together, the whole 9 yards." But yet and still, he never felt love or passion like what he has with his wife. So she said she just wanted to come out and make it clear that that he was not trapped, he was not forced to marry her. It was none of that. It was none of that. He chose to ask her to marry her, and all that, and they have a family, all of that. But she said keep in mind while they were married, he cheated on her, had affairs. We know he had affairs because he has a daughter. That's why it was right in the middle of their 2 boys, right? Mm-hmm. So he had a daughter with another woman. That I guess he claims or sort of claims whenever he feel like it or whatever. Yeah. And so just the fact that, and then even the fact that Brian McKnight Jr. was right there, his oldest son. He said, He said the reason why he said he got mad at the mother, but she said it was not his mom's fault. He said he called him out on Instagram because he had not been paying them any attention. They couldn't get a phone call from him or anything like that. Even the younger brother that died wanted to at least have a conversation with him or at least acknowledge that he loved him. Wanted Brian to at least acknowledge that he loved him. He said, so I called him out on Instagram because he said I knew that was a way for me to get his attention. And I know he was gonna be ticked off when I said what I said was that he that he didn't have these other 3 kids. Like he only had the family over there with his current wife. And so he said, yes, I know what I did. I know I was going to get backlash from him, but I did it because I wanted him to respond or to reply, to us, because we do exist. And so he said, so he don't make any apologies for doing that. He said, I just don't understand how. He said he's a father of 3, and he said he had 2 baby mamas, and 2 baby mamas. Yeah, so he must have 2 kids with one and then one with another one. So he said, I as a father of 3, I could never ignore my children. Children I say I love and I brought into the world, I could never ignore my children the way he did. So I said, they have to understand. I think the man got emotional issues. At this point, I think he's crazy. This is just me. I mean, because here's the man the man that we know that sing all the beautiful love songs and but something happened to him. He got a tick up there. The tick ain't ticking.
Maybe he needs some medication. I don't know.
Yeah, the tick is not ticking because even when your child was gravely ill and losing his life, you couldn't even tell your son that you loved him. Now you know what? I'm just gonna be honest. I think there's a special place for you, Deborah. And you can say, oh, people don't know what I did or what I really said, but the brother, the older brother, James McKnight Jr. said that's all his brother wanted was to him acknowledge that he loved him. If you couldn't get that to your dying child,
ain't much I can do.
That really is nothing I can say. Nothing. There's really nothing I can say for you except, wow, really?
No, there is one I can think of. What a bastard.
Yeah. Because I refuse to believe that somebody, as a parent, you can do that to your child.
And then you put up on social media when you buying her daughter a car, you won't buy your kid, all that stupid stuff. Then you didn't learn because you had 2 children with the new wife you married to. Your one died in infancy. You still ain't learned nothing.
Yeah.
Then you go, you change your name to match the son you have with her.
Oh yeah, because what's the name change now?
It's Brian McCullough McKnight Jr. and then he changed his to Singer. All that stupid stuff. So then when you already got a son named after you, Brian McKnight
Jr. Right?
But then you go like all. Petty.
It's petty and it's childish. It's
petty, baby.
I said something happened to him.
What is wrong with you, man? You become petty.
Yeah. Like you want to get even.
Like can we be adults, please?
Yeah. And it's like the ex-wife, like she said, I've never asked him for anything. She said I have my own education. She's a psychotherapist. She's like, I don't need anything from him. So if that's what he's waiting for me, maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's angry because she never needed him for anything, or she don't want anything from him. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. See, I used to try to say, oh, maybe she being so and so. No, I think you've been a dirty bastard. Just say you've been a dirty bastard. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, because when you can't say something to your kid that's leaving the world that you have bringing to the world, there's a problem there. There's a problem, and there's nothing you can say to me that's gonna really explain that away. Nothing. Brandon, you ready for our next song? Because we're gonna give you some of our favorite music songs today. We have.
I ain't picked the ones you told me.
Well, I told her to pick. I got to get him a little James Taylor. I love me some James Taylor. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. That's one of my favorites. So we're gonna give you all some.
You want that one or you want Winter Wonderland?
Okay, let's go. Okay, that's a good one too. Winter Wonderland is fine. That's good too. Yeah. So
I have a couple of.
Brianna, so she's getting our songs. We're gonna give you all quite a bit. We're gonna make sure that you start your week off right with the holiday spirit and all the goodness that you can muster. That was funny because we were out yesterday. Oh Lord, it's been yeah. We're almost finished. We're almost at the finish line for the holiday, but it never fails. It's always those few things you got to go out. It's those the few things that you still got to go out and pick up a couple things. But we were out yesterday.
Oh, did you call it that?
Yes, I did. I got all. I think I got all situated. Yeah, I got it all situated. So yeah, so
I just found out.
in this particular season here, I said I'm gonna make a few desserts, but I'm not. I'm catering my
And you
Christmas.
savory.
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
You
I'm.
took a
I'm
page at your mother's book.
hell yeah, I'm like my mother. That is my mother.
I
I'm
do that.
catering Christmas dinner because I'm not cooking. Brother said that's fine with me. So I'm gonna do some of the sweet stuff,
Look,
but I still got to pick up a couple sweet things too.
look. I will gladly go pick up whatever she catered. I do not matter. I end up at the store anyway, so.
Well, that's the truth. Well, normally not on Christmas. The only stores usually open on Christmas Day is Walgreens. If you
On Christmas Day, 'cause ain't
that,
nothing.
right there's no the grocery store
No
open,
grocery store,
nothing.
McDonald's, nothing.
No,
So
no.
you ain't got about Christmas Eve. You just out of
You just gonna be shiggity out of luck. So here, so we got this show today. So this is our. We'll be back for next Monday, right? We'll be back next Monday because then we'll be in the week of New Year. So we'll be back next Monday, and then what we got happening. Lord will do that. But anyway, so I'm not cooking. I already have my menu set up for savory. I had to work on that. Got to make sure I have to call people, get it all worked out. Yeah. So I'm making the only sweet thing I'm making. If you all been watching for a while, you know Brianna loves my buttermilk pies. If you've never had one of L buttermilk pies, sorry, I don't sell them.
We need to.
I'm not. I'm not gonna do the patty pie thing. No, 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 no. No, no. Because when you start making food and then you have to go through this, you have to give your recipe over to other people to make the product. It never tastes the way you at home. Because they change up the recipes and stuff like that. Especially when you're doing like big batches of things. No, if you right, I'm not giving you my recipe. I'm not making that. Now, if you know me, you might say, "Hey, can you make my buttermilk pie?" Sure. And then don't get carried away because I'm not gonna make that many either. So don't get carried away with that idea. Okay. No. Oh, okay. You better let me sleep. No, it was on.
No, it's about to go.
Oh. Oh, hey, Sean Jared. Hey. You guys, I love you guys. So we're gonna get ready for some holiday music, and then we're gonna come back with more conversation. You guys tune into the music to KELM Radio, and you can hear what's coming up.
Huh.
What's coming up?
I got you.
Oh, so we're gonna give you one of my favorite Christmas songs.
Yes.
Well, that's gonna be later.
I'm just saying.
And because of course we're gonna have more trending topics. Dr. Fight is here, so we're gonna get Dr. Fight on the couch of Dr. Fight. We've missed him for the last couple of weeks.
All right.
Let's go. And let's go. Let's give me some James Taylor, KELM Radio. You guys, you gotta tune in and listen to it there. Okay. Pause the live. Okay, we got 4 minutes.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the day, no Christmas in, beautiful sight to have tonight.
You can't pause the live, right?
Just get yourself.
Gone away,
something to talk about Christmas.
How you?
We just finished up with James Taylor and Boyz II Men with Cray Cray, Brian McKnight. And before we went on break, we were talking about the conversation that I witnessed with his ex-wife and his son. We're just gonna keep praying for them that McKnight finds some business and stop. You know, we're glad you love your wife, your current situation. It's all beautiful, but you don't have to put down your right. You don't have to put down your I'm gonna say your original family.
What? And that's the thing with, and not, I'm not gonna say all men, but when they get a new wife and a new family, you got to bash the ex-wife. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I don't know. You have to ask them that. That's like, why is that?
I think I heard her say, "Why is it that men bash their old wife when they get a new one?"
That was it. Yep.
Well, I mean, you know, you trying to build up the new one on the back of the old one.
You know what? That is so wrong and so trifling in so many ways. I don't even know what to say to that one.
You know, I might give you a pass if the new one is like drop dead gorgeous. But I've seen the new wife. She ain't pretty.
She'd have to be offering something that has that nose wide open. And that's why I said that McKnight's new wife, she must be offering him. I don't know if she's sucking his toes or nibbling on his earlobes. I don't know what the situation is, but whatever it is, he is completely crazy. He is completely crazy. The lid is fried, cooked. It's over. It's just done. So that's a good point. Men for Christmas, I'm not saying go get your ex-wife, or ex-girlfriend, or your baby mother. I'm not saying go get them a gift, but just try to, just keep it civilized. Just try to keep it sane. Don't bash your kids' mother when you see them over the holidays. Just keep it light, keep it moving, and it's all good. It's all good. I don't know if I would have been able to be such. No, I'm lying. No, I don't know if I would be. Yeah, I would. Because if I had divorced, if I was not a widow and divorced instead, I probably would be a little bit of a bitch. I'm gonna be honest with the new one, especially if she was young. I ain't gonna say she's cute because I don't think nobody's cute as I am. But I wouldn't say because she would be attractive. But I'm just saying the fact that she probably be younger because men seem to do that. They go younger when they get a new woman.
That's okay. Me, you be sitting.
Are you not supposed to?
Are you supposed to? I'm asking you.
Okay, here's the thing.
You're not supposed to go younger. I think you're supposed to go like age appropriate.
Wait, here's the thing. I was about to say there's age appropriate.
Age appropriate.
And then there's grade school. Y'all go grade school.
I think y'all going a bit extreme now.
No, some that be in their 40s, they go 28, 34.
Yeah, right.
Cause that's like Derek Jeter. His wife is my age.
How old is Derek Jeter?
50.
Oh, that's his daughter. That's his daughter. Oh, he married his daughter.
She might. I think she's 31. She might be younger than me. But she was like 26.
And then they don't want to have new families all over again. Then you want to start making babies again. Didn't you get tired of that? I'm just asking. Didn't you get sick of that?
Maybe they took care of the first one, so he's probably not.
Well, maybe they said this is my second chance to take care of the kids the right way. Although, yeah.
But yeah, he's 51.
He's 51.
And I have his wife.
She's probably about 32, probably about 34.
I knew she was my age. I was like, wow.
And see, and they get all offended if a woman get a younger man. It's like, why she going? She marrying her son. She dating her son.
She's a year older than me. She's 35.
Oh, she's 35. She probably just turned 35. He's still 51. That's still his daughter.
51 and 35? That's 16 years difference.
That's that man's daughter. His daughter probably got a daughter close to age.
Well, I think that's his first wife.
That's 16 years. That's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, they got 4 kids.
Who got 4 kids?
Derek Jeter.
With the second wife?
No, that's his first wife. I think he hasn't been married before, so that's his first.
Oh, his first wife?
Uh-huh.
Well, okay, I'm gonna give him okay. He got 4 kids, the first wife. Okay. But how long she still was in his 20s when they got married.
Yeah.
She still was in her 20s when they married. Okay. Well, there you all go. Well, let's get into this. So I'm gonna say something nice before I get into bashing some other people for the Christmas holiday. So apparently, Usher and Big Sean, they're starting they have launched a new entertainment innovation incubator for the youth in Detroit. So they both are donating $1 million apiece. Yes, so congratulations to Usher and Big Sean. Can somebody tell me Big Sean? What did he write? What? I mean, refresh my memory, please.
Big Sean. God, I can't think. The last
You want to
one.
know what Big Sean
Yeah, you really would not know.
is known for?
That would be yes. Is it music? What is it?
No, he's
Music?
music. He's
Yeah, he's a rapper, songwriter.
yeah,
Oh.
rapper, songwriter.
Oh, is there anything that I would know? Because I'm asking you. I don't know.
Probably
Well,
not.
I mean,
I'll
it ain't Barry Manilow.
Shots fired.
See what I'm saying? I try to miss him, but he won't allow me. I try to miss him, but he won't allow me. And you know what? I do like Barry Manilow, just so you know. Okay,
I'm pretty sure you do.
You know, he's been diagnosed with cancer.
I know I was going to say, and you know what? We're going to send him our prayers because he's been diagnosed with lung cancer.
Who was diagnosed with lung cancer?
Barry Manilow, early stage of lung cancer.
Well, my prayers go to Brother Barry. But Big Sean and Barry in two different genres.
Way. So
Some titles of Big Sean songs got some curse words in it. And that's just the title of the song.
It's something I know because I know the name, so I know the name is familiar to me.
who did he date? You might know. Him and Ariana Grande, they used to date.
Oh, he just said Ariana Grande? Really?
Yeah, they were engaged actually.
Really?
That. Yeah.
Okay. I still don't know the music, but okay, I know him. But okay.
You know what he looked like? I mean, you're nice.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, because my main question was, okay, this is Big Sean. Does he really have $1 million to donate? That's why the thinking was in my mind.
He got the money.
Oh, he got the money. Oh, okay. He has the money. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we know Usher's good for $1 million. So I was wondering.
Because he's now with I don't know if they're engaged or what, but he's with Janae Aiko.
Okay, we're gonna pass on that one. I don't know. But
All the tea on who these people be dating.
Yeah, Brianna knows.
Hey!
Well, that's part of her. She's posted. That's part of. When I thought my niece was like, well, who is this? Okay, and this
it's called. I go searching when I don't know. I want to find out. So what?
Oh, okay. So anyway, they are So good for them. You know, people always say that people don't do anything in Detroit, and they was thinking they said because Detroit is like has a history with Motown and things of that nature, and their idea is they say young people need to have somewhere to go and have a hub to go in Detroit for all of their artistic endeavors. So kudos to them. Dropping right around the holidays, good for them. In the city of Detroit, they
look at that. Big bank take little bank. We got some comments out here.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, good for them. Now this next story I gotta get because this I might start on the rant and I'm gonna try not to because I really want to save it for New Year's, but I'm gonna have to just let loose on this one.
Is it about Barry White?
No. This is about that trashy bite your tongue, Nicki Minaj.
Oh,
and her sit down and having a conversation with Erica Kirk.
And you know what's funny? It's a video circulating of how Charlie Kirk and I didn't think I would ever. I actually agree with him when he talked about her because he called her trash.
Oh.
Said her body was fat. He talked about like a dog. Normally, I don't agree with, but in that sense, yeah,
but she's turned MAGA. I mean, she's gone from insulting Governor Newsom in California. She said when she talked about him protecting pedophiles. I guess he fired a shot back at her, and he said, "At least I'm not married to one."
Married and had a baby.
Married and had a baby and protected. Right, exactly. But then she sit up on in his white girl's face and said that J.D. Vance was an assassin. And so Erica Kirk kind of stopped and paused and like, where's she going with that?
Don't be talking about her man now.
Yeah, because we all know that's Erica Kirk's man. And JD is her man. Forget the fact that he legally married to Usha. Usha is irrelevant at this point.
That's a marriage on paper only.
Yes, Lord. Yeah. At least not on his part. Now Usha may still love the fat pig, but no. Yeah, but yeah. So, but here's my thing. I'm like, so I was thinking, and I said, you talked with Nicki Minaj. Then before that, you talked about the other Uncle Toms, like Snoop Dogg. Now you want to smile and pat Newsom on the back. Governor Newsom talking about because he gave you $17 million in cuts for the state of California to film your project there about your life. Boy, look, you're a hood rat. Okay, Snoop Dogg, you're a hood rat. You managed to rap and make yourself a billionaire, and now you want to tell your story about how you came up. You got lucky. And what the reason why you came up because black folks bought your music and put you in that place. But now you want to go and dance with MAGA too. You Negroes get on my nerves. And I'm gonna be kind when I say it because that's not really what I want to call you, but you get on my nerves. Nelly, you don't even know what a racist is, but you're gonna go and you're gonna perform, you're gonna tap dance for MAGA as well. Let me tell you right now, and I never thought I would say this, God help me. I like Marjorie Taylor Greene more than I like any of you. And that's going some. Okay? Okay. At least Marjorie instead of one of the white boys that have a backbone that she worked with in DC. So I'm gonna say I like Marjorie, and I can't stand her. But you Negroes, you don't work my nerves. I can't take it. What's the other coons that we have for the year? In 52, you need to be quiet. I'm gonna need you to leave Diddy alone.
5 heads.
Oh, it's 5 heads, brothers. Because that's another Negro I can't stand.
I got, but we gonna say because I got a whole thing. I'm gonna say put out there because that. Oh Jesus. Okay. Let me just
all you tap dancing
ain't
Negro. I'm trying to say the N word. I'm trying, but y'all gonna make me fool you.
Because by the time I get done with him, my blood pressure is probably gonna be through the roof. Because that ninja right there.
I'm gonna take a beat and I'm gonna let Dr. Fight come on in because I'm trying not to call these black folk what I really want to call them. So I'm gonna go head on. Dr. Fight, your thoughts, please.
Well, let's go back to Nicki Minaj. Let's break down these characters who
that's exactly what they are.
Who think that we are stupid and that research is not something that we are not going to do. We're just going to take your word for it. First of all, Nicki Minaj, as well as anybody else that gets involved in politics, doesn't really support the politician that they're getting involved with. They have ulterior motives on why they are getting into that camp because they want something in return. So you notice, you will see when Republicans get in office, they jump there. When Democrats get in office, they jump. It's because they have ulterior motives. Nicki Minaj is no different. Let's deal with the two main male factors in her life. First of all, let's deal with this man she's married to. He's currently, I believe, on probation. He's currently on probation, and part of the reason he's on supervised probation and he's supposed to register as a sex offender in California due to a civil lawsuit from a woman who is allegedly, because he hasn't been found guilty, but she allegedly said that he sexually assaulted her in 1994. And they both were age of 16 years old at the time. And so, he's dealing with that. And she, it resurfaced in 2024. A video of them resurfaced and all of this other stuff. So she's got that man she's married to. But then there's another male in her life that many of us don't want to talk about much. It's her brother. Her brother is now more of the interesting character. I think his name is Jelani, and Jelani is a predatory sex assault person. He's endangered the welfare of a child back in November 2017. He was sentenced in January 2020. He was found guilty. He was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for raping his stepdaughter, who was 11 years old at the time. So now let's fast forward to Donald J. Trump, who gets elected and starts signing pardons for criminals who he wants to release back into society. At the same time, Nicki Minaj is no longer supporting Barack Obama, Joe Biden. She's all of a sudden now supporting Trump. Maybe it's because she has two men in her life that are dealing with the criminal justice system, and she's going to need a favor in return. So you champion this because you need something in return. Now, let's just real fast. I won't spend as much time with Nelly and Snoop. Let's just go ahead and say they ain't had a hit record in I don't know how long. And Snoop, we all know, is gonna go to anybody who's gonna put his name on the check. It don't matter who it is, what it is, he gonna go for the almighty dollar. Whether he gotta spin records or rap on a microphone, if you got a check with his name on it, he gonna be there. Okay. It is as simple as it goes. Nelly, hey, I mean, we ain't stepping in your Air Force Ones in a long time. So let's just call it what we call it. All right. Somebody got to get some gifts for these kids for Christmas. So
When Nelly had a hit, probably with Jaheim, My Place.
Yeah, it's been a long time since
Nelly. And that was 2003 because I was fresh out of grammar school.
Not grammar school. Stop it.
I came out 6th grade. Grammar school.
Oh my God. Well, now, you all make valid points because I didn't know about the brother factor for Nicki Minaj. I didn't know, but here's the thing. I actually was offered an interview for her mother. Nicki Minaj's mother. Now the whole thing was like it was start talking about, and it's like, oh well, you know what? We'll schedule it, set up to talk, have the mother on, interview the mother, but she doesn't want you to mention her daughter's name, and it's a whole situation with that. And I said, you know what? I said I'm gonna pass on that one because first of all, I'm not a fan of Nicki Minaj, and the mother was asking for a bit much out for my taste, and I was like, I'm not in the least bit interested in rehashing any of that. So whatever
you talking about asking for too much? What was she asking for?
I'll tell you that out there. I can't be telling you that on the phone. Yeah. But she was the thing was mainly about she acted like she don't want to talk about the daughter, Nikki, or they say call relationship, but she did, and she's writing this book or whatever. And that's what she wanted to focus on. Well, my point was, I said, well, if I want to ask a question about your daughter, I should be able to, but since that was gonna be off the table, I was no longer interested, along with some other stuff. And she was like, "You really?" I said, "I really mean that. I don't want that. I don't like for you to limit me in my scope of what I want to ask." And so since I don't even care about Nicki Minaj like that, but since that didn't work for me, I said I let it go. I said, I'm gonna pass on that. I'm pass on that. Especially now that I even know about the brother, the whole pedophilia with the brother and I don't want anything to do with that whole family. That's just
is currently serving 25 years to life in the penitentiary.
Woo. And you raped your stepdaughter. You 11-year-old stepdaughter. Yeah.
I believe, and I don't know what Trump is going to do, but I believe that any person, and you can say what you want to say about Dr. Fight, any person on the planet, male or female, that sleeps with a minor,
most certainly,
not only needs prison, but they need the psychiatric help.
Yeah, I've always said, how can anyone look at a child and say you're attracted to a child? There's something fundamentally wrong with you, and so I don't want to have any dealings with that. I don't want to have any dealings with that. So,
amen.
Yeah. All right. So, Dr. Fight, it's your time. We miss Dr. Fight.
Y'all, do you miss me?
Listen, I don't even touch on the couch with Dr. Fight because I said Dr. Fight he be off the chain with on the couch. So I don't even try sometimes.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna need you to give a little bit of explain that a little bit.
Because when Dr. Fight come with these scenarios and then his response to them are completely different from mine. So I would just rather not even tiptoe in it unless I'm really upset about something. Then I'm like, well, let me go here. But if I'm not, I'm gonna stay in my lane. Let's just say I'm gonna stay in my lane. I can't stay on my floating side because I can't float in the pool of water. So I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm just gonna drive. I'm gonna stay right there.
Really?
Yes. Plus, I think it's best to have the expert opinion. I can offer my, unbiased. Well, no, I'm always biased. So there you go. It ain't even unbiased opinion. So I'm just going to offer my opinion. But I'm going to let Dr. Fight go and handle his. Dr. Fight, Dr. Fight on the couch with Dr.
I this topic came up yesterday.
Uh-oh.
I was talking with some friends, and this came up, and I don't want nobody to come for me.
Uh-oh.
But I'm gonna ask you this question, L.
Well,
I already know what you're gonna say. I already know what Brianna gonna say, but this is a hot button topic here.
Let me write it down so I get it right. I got my pen. Let's go.
Is monogamy natural or just traditional?
Or just traditional? That's a good. That's a good darn question.
And I even added another component to it. That said, is one more biblical than the other?
Ooh, he want to go there. Oh, okay. Are you ready for that?
Hey, I'm a theologian. Stand up.
I don't really. Okay. So first of all, we know in the Bible that there was always men were married to have more than one wife. So I understand that. First, so here's a question for you. While you ask my question, when did that change? Where it became monogamy? When did that happen? When did that change over from the Bible versus to what it is now?
So I to be honest with you, this ain't my biblical expertise. However, what I will say is I don't know that it ever did change in the Bible. I know Christ spoke about if a man is going to divorce a woman, he is to give her papers of separation. That's in the Bible.
Okay.
Right. However, from the Old Testament, where you were welcome to have multiple wives, I mean, more famously Solomon, you had Abraham who had Hagar, who was a concubine or a slave girl, that his wife welcomed him to go and be with her. So the culture where she accepted the idea of her man sleeping with another woman in order to have her to be pregnant. I mean, all throughout the Old Testament, there are men who have multiple women, right? That's throughout the Old Testament. However, there was nothing that despises that in the Bible from what I can see. Now, somebody else may come up with a scripture and says, oh, no, it's in the Bible. Okay, well, I'm welcome to hear that. And granted, I've read the Bible and there are things I remember and some things that I don't. I don't claim to be a subject matter expert from Genesis to Revelations. So I'm welcoming that conversation. In the same token, our society in America, we have adapted an idea of monogamy and dispelled the idea of polygamy. And so monogamy has become the law of the land in America. But as Christians, is it the law for Christians and beyond biblical practice and principles? Are we to be monogamous, or is that just tradition?
Well, we know it's the law because you cannot be married to multiple people at the same time.
Well, I knew you was gonna say that. Hasidic Jews that live in America have multiple wives. They live together especially for tax purposes and benefits, like food stamps or SNAP and other benefits that they're able to get by having large families under one roof. What they do is they have one legal wife,
right?
And all of their other wives are religious wives. So the religious law that they practice affords them the opportunity to have more wives, but they only have one wife legally on paper with American.
Right, but that's what you just said. That's why I said they still cannot have two wives legally on paper.
But they do have multiple wives that they are with. Right. So legally, you're correct. Yes, that's the case.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Yeah, legally. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, as would you want to live in a house with other women? Now, I'm gonna be. It was a movie. You know, I watched my Lifetime. That was a Lifetime movie on there. And the pastor, he married. He had like 4 or 5 other wives, but he had the one legal wife. He had the one legal wife. But I remember him saying, well, and then he wanted to marry the other because she was younger. So he bought in the new wife, and I think it was 3 other ones. And so he told the older one or the first one, he said, I need to divorce you because I want to marry her legally. And then he wanted to get her pregnant so she could have a son for him. So that's what they did. But not only on that show, but also what's the one you said, Sister Wives, that Cody.
Yeah,
remember
that,
he
that
met,
didn't all went to pot though too, but yeah.
that whole situation is going to hell in it. Whoa. So but remember he divorced who was married the legal wife.
Get married to marry the younger
To marry the younger wife that he brought in there. See, I'm always of the mindset that I think at some point as a woman you're gonna get jealous. You're gonna get jealous because he might be spending more time with the other wife. I don't care. Now, here's the thing: the women probably do get along very well. The women probably do get along, and if he was at the picture, they probably get along famously. More music, cause men stir the pot. When you all are men around, you all stir the pot. Women can get along just fine, but when you bring the man into the picture, then the women the women get jealous. But women can be around each other and get along famously, even if they want married to the man. He don't have to be in the same room.
But let me ask you this question. So, granted, this has nothing to do with the question that I asked, but let me go down this rabbit hole with you for a second. But in what scenario or situation where like 2 men can get along perfectly fine, but if you throw a woman in the mix, the same scenario happens that if 2 women will get along fine, you throw a man in the mix. It's because we have developed a possessive mentality. So yes, you and I can like each other until till the person that we both like has to choose between the 2 of us. Is that the man or the woman's fault that's stuck in between multiple individuals? It's probably the individuals who want what they want exclusively, but then that person want them to share with somebody else. Then somebody would say, well, that's unnatural. Well, is it unnatural or is it untraditional?
When you talk about human behavior, to me, I think it's natural for someone to get jealous of someone else. I think it's just natural. I think it's human behavior. I find it very hard for some woman to say, because here again, there was another reality show that didn't last very long, but it was too.
Can we stop referring to reality shows? I mean,
because you can bring up these.
Most people live their lives, and that's the reality show. Like most people are trying to find love in real life and can't find it because the person that they thought they love also like other people too.
But this is related to the question that you're asking. These are people living in real life, but it just happened that they were 2 couples, and they got together. A man was married to one woman, a man married to another woman. They decided they wanted to experiment, I guess, or be in the same household. And so it's like I was watching, like, okay, one had got pregnant, and she didn't know really which one was the daddy. But then after she was legally married to one guy, and after she had the baby, the other guy was left out and said, well, we haven't had any time apart, didn't have had any time to bond. So they, after she had her checkup and was able to go and do whatever, they left and went on a little overnighter so they can have some time together. And so the husband that was legally married to her, that he stayed back with the other wife. And I was just, but they only had like one season because everybody was like, this is woo. And they were getting a lot of bad press about it. But again, you watch them say, okay, she got pregnant, she was sleeping with both the men, didn't know who fathered the child, but yet still, and the other husband was he was like all excited, we get to go have some alone time, leaving my wife. It was just, me knowing who I am, I could not do that. I could not say, okay, you go away with my husband, you all have a great time, and then you come back home, and then we all act like it's all hunky dory and everything is okay. I'm not made like that, so I could never do that. I would have to be in a monogamous relationship because I'm not built that way. Because then you're gonna start asking questions, and when you're all in the same room, you're gonna start maybe giving a little side eye as to maybe he lingering at her too long, or he want to talk to her more than you want to talk to me. It's just a whole host of questions that will go through my mind. So I'm not built like that. God bless the ones who can do that. I'm not that person.
Well, another part of this issue is um, comparison is a horrible sport for us to play. Because let's just say a person is honest. I'm currently seeing you, but I'm seeing somebody else too. Even if at first they say that's okay, at some point when they know that you were just with somebody else the day before, they're going to wonder, how do I compare to the other person? Same is true with most people who have been cheated on. You always want to know who you've been cheated on with, and you want to compare yourself to the other person. So it's like when you find out, oh, that's the woman that he was with when he cheated on me. Well, she don't look like me. She ain't like this. She ain't like that. She this, that, and the third. I don't know. So what he see in her? It's not a lot of time what that person sees in somebody else. It's what that person brought that you don't bring. And so I tell men this all the time. Another woman becomes attractive and becomes what you want because it's easier than what you have to deal with. So when you go home and you got a wife and you got kids and y'all got bills and you come home, she like, well, I need bill money. We need groceries. We need this, that. It's aggravating. So it somebody like a coworker that you work with every day, and y'all don't share bills together, y'all don't share kids together, y'all don't share problems here, then that what you got at home. It's not that it feels refreshing, but it's really a facade. It's only a facade because if you were married to that person, y'all would then share some of the same issues that you share currently now. But since you don't share it, you think it's easier when it's not necessarily easier.
Right.
You have to be able to make what you have work, because if you don't, you'll get with somebody else and they will in return make you feel comfortable, when if you lived the life with them, you would have just as many issues with them as you have with your current wife, because whatever money can't afford at this home, if you leave that home and go into another one, that same money is not going to be able to afford the new home. So you can't, and that's what people don't think about. They think about aesthetics. They think about looks, hair, weight, size, height, color. They look at all of these other things and not thinking that the conversation was easy. The mere fact that I was able to have a good time with this person and then leave, and then I came home to all this stress, it makes that look better. Like, then eventually you succumb and you end up cheating, and now you find out, you get caught, and it's like, well, what is it about her that you love and not about me? It's nothing. It's not a comparison. It's, I felt like it was easier. But then a lot of times, this question is now coming up in this current generation. This current generation is not getting married at the same rate that we were and our foreparents were. They don't view and value marriage as something that they need, because most of this generation is not looking for permanent situations. They're not looking for a permanent job, because after about 5 to 7 years, they're looking to go somewhere else to continue to climb the corporate ladder. They're not looking to stay at one church for 30 and 40 years. This church is hot right now, but as soon as the next church pop up and is planted and that church is hot, then they gonna jump ship and go over there. There's no loyalty to any one thing nowadays. I mean, this culture is a cancel culture. And so when you say to them, be with one person for the rest of your life, it's like, nah, I ain't really feeling that. But you know what I'm saying? If you want to catch dinner and a movie, we can do
But do you really think that's true? Because I hear what you're saying, and I see some of that. But when you ask a female, and a female will say probably faster than a male, yes, I want to be in a monogamous relationship. Yes, I want the one man. I want that 2.5 kids, a house, that car. I want that. The females are always going to want that. It doesn't matter to me the generation, but I think it's more the males. I think it's more, and there are some females who say, no, I don't want that, because maybe they've seen something in their family, whatever, where they say, yeah, it's not worth the headache. But I still think the majority of people want that. Even if you say they don't want the legalized marriage, they want that some sort of commitment. It doesn't have to be the lit, but they want that commitment.
Well,
I think that's human nature.
I don't know that this generation, like, okay, so obviously there's a couple of different factors here. Number one, there are more women on this planet than there are men. That's just the biological issue that women have. So you have a lot more single women who are willing to compromise some of that in order just to have companionship from time to time. It's not that I'm looking to have you. Like, you have a lot of women out here nowadays who sleep with married men, knowing that they can never have that man because he's not going to leave his family. But in order for her to have love, she would rather do it in a clandestine way and be okay with that, knowing that she can dangle this over his head so that if you don't pay my rent this month, I'll tell your wife what we're doing. And she got pictures and videos and all kinds of stuff. And it's crazy. But at the end of the day, like, I saw a clip. Somebody had sent, I think it was a pastor. A pastor came, was with a woman, and she was like, you're not gonna get off this camera on, like, she was recording them until you pay me the money you owe me. Like, apparently they had some arrangement that if she did something strange, he'll give her a piece of change. I don't know, $1 to holler. I don't know what the arrangement was, but what I do know is that they had some kind of arrangement where she said she was going to share this video with everybody if he didn't do what he was supposed to do and pay up. And
but she already had it live, though. So, I mean, she was already filming the fool. So what was the purpose?
Well, and here you have it, that this new day and age with media, the way it is, social media and TikTok and all of these different things coming up. That comment was from back when we was talking about Big Sean. That's one of Big Sean's titles of his songs, Big Bank Take.
Okay. What is this?
But you had this new social media craze, and I mean, I've talked to plenty of people about if they had social media the way it was when we were coming up, our life would look completely different. Like, there would be a digital footprint of some of the things that we've said in the past, done.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't want that.
Exactly. Many of us probably wouldn't even be working the kind of jobs we're working if they just did a Google search of you and who you were or whatever. Like, this is not something that we want to be able to have in perpetual memory.
Think about it. They're experiencing the same thing, the ones now, these babies, because they put their whole life out there on the social media. And then when people start digging around, they say, well, you said, then they get all offended. Well, you know, there's first of all, there's a thing called common sense. And don't put your whole life out there for the whole world to read. I don't want everybody's business. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to know. Get too much. My business is enough. So for me, I don't want to know all your business. No. Keep some secrets, okay? It's important to keep.
No, but that's the new phase that this generation is going through. They're going through a generation where they're not dealing with this sweeping under the rug. What happens in this house stays in this house. No, they want to expose things that happen. So they go live while they're at Thanksgiving dinner when conversations are happening, and they invite the world in to what it is that they're talking about. They walk down the street and ordering their food, and they're live. Most people in this generation,
crazy, yeah.
Most people in this generation don't even talk on the cell phone nowadays. They are live, like they have FaceTime, and they're talking to people like we gotta interact this way. It's not a text or just we're on the phone. No, it's we're watching what each other is doing. We're inviting others to see what's happening in real time. Like, I went to Dollar General the other day, and as I was checking out, the person that was working there was on FaceTime with somebody while they were checking people out. Like you're at work.
I don't want people to know what I'm buying. So you like,
And so when you begin to invite the world in your everyday life, most people believe that the bedroom is no different. Now with OnlyFans and all of these other kind of social media apparatuses that invite the world into what you do, is nothing is no longer private. And so when you think about the kind of relationships these people have, they're not having a private relationship between them and their significant other. The world is also invited into this kind of I think that's Thomas. Says I'm on live, baby. I'm on live. He just put a comment in. But it's a thing where is the world is invited into my life. And the life that you're talking about, El, is from the generation that you were reared and raised in. This generation now is completely different. I mean,
But you know what? I think that eventually they're going to regret that. Because as you get older, there are things that we regret in general anyway. As you get older, say, "Oh, I was stupid to even do that." So I think that as they get older, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, why did I do that?" And then you wonder why people always commenting about what you're doing. It's because you put it out there. Here's my thing: don't get upset when people comment about the things you said and done, and you're like, "Oh my God, why did they say that about me?" You invited that. When you extend the invitation, be careful as to who's gonna accept it and what they're going to say. So because when we go live, I know that I'm going to get comments. We're going to get comments about certain things. I'm mostly prepared for that. But my personal life, that's all. That's a no go. That's a no go for me. No go, no go. So if you foolish enough to put your personal business out there for everybody to comment on, then don't be surprised and don't get your feelings hurt. And then that's the other thing too, is that they have all these mental issues now. You have all these mental issues because guess what? You open up the door for people to say ugly things to you, and then you don't know how to handle it. So now people need mental days off. I remember talking to some young people, and they were like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna take a mental day." I was like, "What?" I said, "What?" They said, "Oh, they give us mental days now." But I was like, "Wow!" So you can't handle reality any better than that, but you open your life up to people to comment. That's like an oxymoron to me. That makes zero sense to me. Zero. Some things, that word privacy is there for a reason, for a purpose. Try utilizing it, people. You'll be so surprised about the less headache and trauma that you would have if you kept yourself off of social media for everything. That's just me. I mean, I just don't. When you go on my private life, that's a no go for me. I'm not letting you in. I don't do that. I don't do that. Mm-mm. And you're right. You're right. We were raised where where your parents say what happens in our household stays in our household. It's not for daily consumption or for anybody to talk about. It's not. It's not. And I think that's for a reason. A lot of
well,
young people. Yeah. Go ahead.
well, and that's what research is showing us, and that's what our society is kind of producing. They're producing, and we're raising a generation currently who has commitment issues. Nobody wants, their word is fluid, just like their choices in life.
I
Like,
think that's the worst word ever.
well, and that's where we are. Everything there's no definitives in life. That's what we are erasing definitions and what's defined, like a marriage. We're slowly eroding that idea. Before, when you heard the word marriage, you saw a man and a woman standing at an altar. Now when you hear the word marriage, what images do you see? Those images from television all the way to entertainment media, life, what we see in everyday life has now begun to change our thought process when we hear certain words. It's because we're redefining what commitment looks like and what commitment is envisioned. And with this generation growing up with this change, their minds is being raised and formed to see these images and things differently. When our kids go to school now, my daughter's in school with a girl who professes that she has two mothers, right? and she's being raised in that household. So imagine that child. My daughter's 7 and in the 2nd grade. Imagine that little girl that she's in class with that is going to then be 17, 18 years old. What do her relationships now look like? And what images do she have of relationships? That now it's so our generation who have an image of what that should look like, when we see these people out in public holding hands and kissing and doing other stuff, we are averse to it, but this is the norm for them because they're raised within it. It's kind of like my parents or my grandparents, when they see a computer, they're like, oh, I don't want to touch that. But I was raised with a computer. Like as it grew, like when I first had a computer in my classroom, I was in the 5th grade. I was in the 5th grade when the computer. Now, granted, it had that big old floppy disk that that big screen with that white keyboard that made so much noise. Like, granted, it is not the kind of, but I grew up with this technology of a computer. And so my children are growing up with TikTok and YouTube and StreamYard and all of these other advancements with the technology that, so I'm not averse to it. It's just they are going to be leaps and bounds when it comes to technology and how that shapes them. They have information at their hands.
Well, see, I don't even so much mind the technology, but like you mentioned, your daughter and the girl with the 2 mommies or whatever. Now, for me, I said, if you don't want your kids exposed to certain things, then I say homeschool. And that's just my personal opinion. I don't want, and Brown and I talk about it all the time because Braden is he's gonna be schooling. She said, "Mom, I can't deal with that drama." She said, "Braden can be homeschooled." I said, "That's fine." I mean, I don't have an issue with that because by the time Brown was before she was done with junior high school, I homeschooled her because I couldn't. You saw the things that were gonna go on through high school, and I was like, I don't want my child exposed to that. I don't want my child exposed to that. So Brown was homeschooled and graduated that way. So I can understand it, even like at Brady's young age, you don't need to be exposed to all that. I want your kids need to be exposed when you, as a parent, want your kids exposed, not when the world say. It's when you say. That's what the difference between letting the world raise your kids and the parents raising their children. That's just my opinion. Probably look.
There was another question that was brought to my attention that it's more it's not as serious as that one. It's a little more I don't know. I had a friend, he's not married. Last week I was in Orlando. And he's dating, he's divorced.
Somebody said, I'm on the live, baby. I'm on the live. Who is this?
Leaps and bounds. I told you, I think that's Thomas. But remember when I said earlier, when people are on live or they invite the world into everything they're doing. Yeah, that was his comment during that time. Yeah, you're a little behind on that.
I can't help it, just pop it up.
I heard that like 10 minutes.
All right, so here's a friend of mine. He's dating, he's divorced, he's single, he asked me a question and I had to write it down. But the question was, what relationship red flags did you ignore because you wanted to explore a relationship with that person?
That's a good darn question. A good darn question. That's a good darn question. Since I was married over 30 years ago, I lost track. But there was a few of them.
You've been dating since your husband deceased. So
it is true too.
Some red flags that you ignored.
You would track crazy?
I don't track crazy.
Anybody that asks you to marry him in a week, I don't know that.
Did I tell him I didn't miss him? Did I tell him that earlier?
So that's one.
Well, I don't find that crazy. When somebody says they know you for a week and they want to marry you, I don't find that crazy.
Huh?
I don't find that crazy.
Not the huh.
murder for all you do.
Yeah, he wasn't that. Well, here's the thing. Once once you've been with him and then you work, you're like, okay, well, I guess you're not an axe murder because he didn't kill me in my sleep. So there you go. That answered that question. That answered that question.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's all,
What you have?
What red flags? What red flags?
Mommy issues.
Oh yeah, damn. I mean, excuse me. Yeah, definitely. A mama's boy. Oh God, mommy issues for real. How could I let that one escape me? Yeah. A man that's got mommy issues. Oh my God, that is don't walk, run. Run. Cause that's gonna hunt the relationship, hunt the hell out of you. Run. The late husband, as we were married for a long time, I said, you got mommy issues. And as I realized that you have mother issues when they wouldn't call or talk to each other. I was like, what is happening here? Something is not right here. So yeah. So when a male has issues with his mama, then he go see a therapist, sit on the couch, work that out. That's a big one. Okay, yeah. Question answer, Dr. Fight. Yeah, mommy issues.
Is that Rihanna's answer or your answer?
That's that's an honest answer for me because I always said and if it's same thing for a female, if she tripping and carrying on, she got daddy issues. If anybody got mommy and daddy issues, no, run because they gonna give you hell. They gonna give you hell.
So how are we defining mama or daddy issues? What?
Think about that. Like okay, let's go for a female. If let's just say if daddy didn't give her enough attention, she's gonna crave a man and she's not gonna trust. But she's gonna crave a man to give her all the attention, call her nonstop, be there. It's gonna be very unnerving. Where you being, what you doing, what time you coming home. It's gonna be the whole situation.
Like 60 calls an hour. That's
right.
The issue.
Damn 60 phone calls. That ain't no red flag. That's a damn bullhorn. I mean,
but like you said, they find that after they get married. I watched the episode of Divorce Court, and she was married to a guy. He went out with his friends, and she called him 160 times in like 1 hour.
So how do you find this stuff out when you're just dating?
Most of the time you don't until that is the reason why you date longer and not and I will admit don't look at me like that because I know you're ready to say I already know what you're ready to say. Because when his head tilt, I already know what's coming at me.
I'm not even looking at the screen. I know he got that look like
but his head like this.
I'm all ears. I got to hear this.
And this is why I probably should have dated my late husband longer. Because we got married, I was like, woo, hello.
Really?
But since I was already in it, I had to work with it. But I had to, because we weren't going to get divorced like the next day, but I was just like, oh my God. It's like every day there was something else. I was like, this is what I said. I was like, this nigga getting on my nerves. That's what I said. I said, oh my God. But then like for our generation, we kind of thought it was normal.
See,
we kind of thought it was normal.
He had mommy issues. He was never wrong.
Oh yeah, never wrong.
Oh, what the? He had 3. What the?
And he had daddy issues because daddy was never around. His daddy was never around, so he had the trifecta.
But you found this out later in the relationship.
Yes, as I was married to him, right. So it's right. So that's why I said
You got married 6 months after going out on your first date.
Yeah, but he was cool like them first like 3 years. It was cool. But it was like after that, the third year, that was like.
Really? But here's the thing. You didn't think the marriage proposal was a sign of clingy.
You know what? When you're young and a guy is like, you know what? Oh, I just love you. So I was young anyway. I was like 21. So I was all excited. I was like, okay, this is cool. This is sweet.
And you didn't think that was an issue?
No. But I was young and stupid. So there you go.
Now you think that was an issue?
But now I can go fast, but I can even ask the right questions now. Mm-hmm. If I even go fast, I can ask the right questions. I didn't ask any questions really with the late husband. I was just like, oh yeah, we gotta get married. We're gonna go with the flow, yada yada yada.
So do you think at 21 and up, do you think a 21-year-old individual is more willing to look past some red flags in order to explore the relationship more so than someone who continues to get older as you age, you're no longer willing to look past red flags. You're like, if I see that now, I ain't dealing with it and I'm cutting it off.
Because I think when you're younger, you are willing because you're like, oh, I can work with that, or we can work together, work it out. So I think you definitely want when you're younger, you can look past the red flags. When you're older, you already know what the red flags is. You're like, oh, light flash. Wait. No. But
so at 21, you're willing to work with certain things, but as you get older, you're not willing to work with those.
Of course, because at 21, you're young and stupid. And you think you can solve all the world's problems, which is what drives me crazy about Z generation, because they think they know every damn thing and they can't even blow their nose or dial a phone number. So, and that gets on my nerves.
What?
So that hurts me.
They can't blow their nose without dialing a phone number?
They can blow their nose and dial a phone. That's what's the landline is. They got, what's that? They don't even know what the damn landline phone. No.
Okay. Look, you know what? I hear older people say this kind of stuff all the time. They don't even know what this is. They don't know what that is. Well, every generation can say that because things change.
Right, but the difference is that at my age,
it changed. Like
we wanted to find out what it was. These here, they don't know.
The last generation that rode in the back seat of a car that had an 8-track. I'm a part of the last generation. So anybody born after me don't know what an 8-track is because they wasn't in the car.
And they missed it out. They missed it out.
Like, they don't know what a deuce and a quarter is.
I'm surprised you know what a deuce and a quarter is.
I mean, I rode in one. Growing up, I was a child. You don't know what a Volkswagen is nowadays? A hatchback?
That's like,
they don't sell them cars anymore. They don't know what a 4 model television is.
That's like the
they do, but it's a flat screen now.
Exactly. My children have never seen a 4 model television in their life.
That is so sad.
Look, they go now.
They're not raised in that era. Things change. So to say they don't know this, they don't know that. Of course they don't.
Before things was like, you not like the TV, you had like cable. Ask them what cable is. They're like, oh, I just streamed. They don't know what cable is.
How you not know what cable? Wow.
They don't even know Channel 9. Like, they don't have channel numbers. Like, we used to know what channel ESPN was, ABC, CBS. Oh, that's 13. Oh, that's 39. Oh, that's 12.
Look, you had
they don't even got channel numbers anymore. It's just turn it on.
You the channel you were a kid, like 9 was WGN, 7 was
ABC, right? 5 was NBC.
39 was Cartoon Network.
I told my daughter last week. I told my daughter, because on the remote control now, you can talk to it and it pick up your voice and it'll pull up what you want to watch. You don't even have to know how to spell anymore. All you got to do is speak into it and it'll type it for you.
And you know what's sad about that? They're really growing up stupid. I'm gonna be honest.
You're not about to call my daughter stupid, okay? My daughter's smart. Let's go ahead and set that record straight. Right now, my baby girl.
Let's rephrase that. Let's leave out. We're gonna leave out Maya and we're gonna leave out Brady.
We're gonna leave out our personal babies. We're gonna leave out our. I'm gonna talk about the baby anyway. But these kids, as they get older, when they're teenagers, they really are stupid, Dr. Fight. I'm gonna be honest. You look at. And this is what I said. This is what I said for the end of 2025. What I tell my 2 words out for 2025: stupid and accountability. Those are the 2 words for 2025. I said that people don't. They don't.
And let me just say something. Let me just go on this now. Stop getting your kids credit cards and don't tell them how to use them.
Oh.
Because you want to know what I said? Because then they call me. I'm just putting this is just a personal grievance for me. Then they call me and have 50,000 questions. Don't you have a mama that got you that helps?
Well, right. If your parents got your credit card, you should be calling them, asking them what's wrong, what's the credit card limit. All of it.
I'm telling you, they don't know. They get these credit cards now. They like 18, 19 years old. Some will get like $5,000, $6,000 limits, and they max that thing out. And I'm like,
and then because you know what, they don't have to pay the bill. They turn around and they say, "Oh, I need to you need to pay my bills." They don't even pay their own bill. That's why I said when kids are growing up stupid, it's stuff like that. It's like they don't have basic common sense. You know, like I said, I'm teaching Braden how to his numbers. And how to be. He don't understand all that. But if you don't know the basic, you let the TV raise your kids, or you let the street raise your kids. There's something wrong with you as a parent. And a lot of young parents do that. What's the generation to raise these kids now? Oh, them Dr. Fight generation. That's him too.
Wait a minute.
But I didn't say you. I said it's the ones in your generation that raise these other dumb kids.
Well, first of all, my oldest son is.
I ain't talking about you. I said the ones.
Wait a minute. I ain't saying you're talking about me. Let me finish before you cut me off.
I have to get you before you get started with me, though.
My oldest son is 26 years old. Now, I raised him as I was growing up myself. So, and my parents, the same thing. My parents are in your generation, but both of my parents were teenagers when they had me. So they were growing up trying to raise me at the same time. So a lot of times, now granted, I think I made plenty of mistakes as a parent at 18 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. I made a lot of mistakes. And my oldest son, thank God, he don't have no babies. He's never been arrested. He got a full-time job. He's a tax-paying, productive member to society. So I wish I could take some credit, but it belongs to the Lord, all of it. Okay. And maybe my parents for helping me along the way. So thank God for that. However, my two kids behind him, Aaron and Maya, have a more mature, different situation than he had. You know, things are a little different. My financial situation is different. With these two that's currently living in the house, you know. And so to say that my generation is raising or dealing with some of this in every generation is dependent upon when you actually had a child. That's the point I'm trying to make. Is my parents, if you look at the difference between me and my sister, I'm 4 years older than my sister. However, my parents were also 4 years older in rearing and raising my sister. So the mistakes they made with me learning and growing and all of that, you know what I'm saying? These kind of things you got to take in consideration. And sometimes this is a case by case basis. You can't blame the millennials for this current generation 100% because we're still, many of us are still growing up as we are trying.
But you know what I'm saying? Let me say this. It's because as you speak about you as a youth, being a teenage father, and as your parents, still that still was values there. Those were, when I say old school values. So even though they still were young, raising you, and you were young, they still had imparted certain values in you, and you carried those into raising your child. Some of these people, when I say your age, they didn't come from that. They didn't come from that. Those old school values. So they grew up with the parents who party with them, and this is what they put out into their children. So even though you all may have had anything, you still had values. Is where I'm coming from.
Because I'm sorry, some of these kids now they have zero respect,
right?
No manners. I was just having a story yesterday. I'm walking out the door. They gonna walk around over me. I say, "Excuse me, it's a turn."
Right, exactly.
And that can be me because getting older, and then, but excuse me is a term. But and then you need to shut up. See,
coming from a child to an adult, right? There's no home training there.
And I have to control myself, but these ain't my kids. Because some of these kids, I want to snatch by.
You want to snatch them and pull. You're right, exactly.
But you just ain't my baby.
Right.
In my opinion, there should be some generational separation in having children.
Well, that's also.
If you are, let's say you're a baby boomer. You most likely are the parents of millennials and you skip Generation X because you're still growing up. Generation X, right? That's the theory. Millennials shouldn't be raising Gen Zs. They should be raising Generation Alpha.
So you said they had children too early. You said they had children.
Right. When you have children earlier, what ends up, depending on when you're born in that time frame, I think millennials is 81 to 96. and my son was born in Jeremiah was born in 99 and Aaron was born in 11. So I had two children in the next generation, like Generation Z. I got two kids. Both Aaron and Jeremiah are in Gen Z. My daughter Maya, she's in Alpha, because she was born in 18. So it's a thing. Whereas you are more mature when you're having children.
Yeah.
In the not the next generation, but the generation after that.
Yeah, but that's when I said that. That's the problem is when you have young people, when you have saying they're a grandparent at 38, you like whoa. Then to me, I was like I'm a great great. I'm like, damn, you're a grandmother. I was still raising Brianna when I was at 38. What the hell are you talking about? So when grandma can go to the club, and you come raising somebody, that's
you say grandma at 38. Come on, bro. When did grandma have a baby?
Right, that's what you've heard. That it's my grandma 38. Or grandma, you said what?
Grandma,
right?
Grandma 40.
Right, grandma 40. Right, exactly. Come on now. That's not the first time you've heard that.
Now I could have potentially been a grandfather at 40.
Well, thank God. It's because still you came from a place of that had values. People they instill values in you. So that's what that was.
Jeremiah 23. He's gonna be 27 next month in January. I am of the age. I can be somebody's granddaddy.
But you ain't 38 either. So there you go.
But still, I'm in that 40 range. I ain't no granddaddy age. I think granddaddy 50 and up. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm qualified to be nobody's granddaddy.
So Jeremiah got to hold off for a little longer.
Well, that might not happen. But maybe by the time you hovered around 50, you may become a granddaddy.
That's fine. I settle for 45. I settle. Give me another year, son.
That was you. That was always like in my ear. Don't come here and don't talk about you. Like in your 40s, talk about baby.
Right here, don't come and talk about no grandbaby now when I was still in my 40s. No, get out of here.
But here's the thing. I tell people, I was incredibly selfish in my early 20s, mid 20s. I ain't want nothing. So by the time I got to be like, what was that? 20? I'm like, okay,
right.
I have my baby at 20.
Right, exactly. My mother would always say, "Well, when Brianna can have me?" I said, "Look here, don't rush that. Don't rush." I said, "Don't rush that. Don't rush that time card." No, so when she had Bray, that was perfect time for me. I wear, as Burberry called me, Nan. I wear Nan bands with honor. I'm happy with that. That's fine. But at time at 40 or 30 in the car, I said, what? And some people, and then we get to the prize, you're like, wow, really? You brag, you be a grandma? Wow.
And then the kids, and then the parents, they're like 20. Here they are at 31, 32. Now they want to go out. And you got a 13-year-old.
Right,
okay, you had the 13-year-old out in the street. Oh, okay.
Right, because you chose to be fast or grown and have a baby. Oh, okay. Well, now the kid got the stuff because you didn't have a chance to live your life.
Now you want to go party.
Oh, okay.
So let's think about this logically. If you got an 18-year-old going to the club, right, buying cigarettes at 18, because that's the age you can buy cigarettes. You smoke at 18, right? If you had a child, let's say at 16, and this child is now 18 years old, you are what, 34? 34 with an 18-year-old, and y'all going to the same club.
That's my friend. But
dang near 50. I just put it in the chat. Tom, I think that's Tom.
What he saying? What time I say?
Dang near 50.
Look, think about my friend. They got the little boy, Veronica.
Oh yeah.
She's 35 and her son is 16.
That boy 16 already?
Yep.
That boy 16? Damn.
But if you had a child at 16, when that child becomes 16, you're 32.
Yeah.
Think about when she had them.
How old was
What? 19?
she? Well, you know, she was held back a couple of grades, so you know.
You was still 19, 20.
It's been that long. That boy was 16. Damn.
Because was he 18?
Wow. See, that's what I'm saying, right? When y'all out there getting grown,
and she got the little girl.
well, at least she didn't have them back to back. It's one thing when you have one like young and you like, okay, I ain't gonna have it anymore. And you stop and you control yourself, and then maybe like 10 years later, you know, you start having more because you're more established.
And see, that's like a lot of people I know, they got kids that's like 13. They like, you had your baby. Oh no, I did. It's just I did exactly what I wanted to in my 20s. To the point I had brain, I go.
Thank God.
Kill that,
Thank God, because I would have had to kill you.
But at what point, and I guess we got to move on. But at what point do we? A lot of times it's easy for us to blame the parenting. I mean,
But
I was raised.
I'm always blaming the parents. You know me.
I don't think you can blame my parents for me. Just to be honest with you, I was when I had my oldest son. It had nothing to do. My father. I had no daddy issues. I had no mama issues. I wasn't out here trying to rebel against it was just curiosity. I wanted to go out here and find out for myself. And I did. I found out. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, I know you told me what to do and what not to do. You raised me correctly, but I wanted to learn. I wanted to find out myself. Uh-huh. And she was willing and able, and they found out. Oops, my bad. It ain't my parents' fault. You know what I'm saying? I was in church, I was in Sunday school, Bible study. Like I went through purity classes.
Well, you know they say about the preacher's kids.
All this stuff, huh?
You know what they say about the preacher's kids. So now you know.
Hey, I wanted hands-on experience. I ain't want.
You got it, brother. You got it.
I ain't want nobody to tell me what it shouldn't do.
You got it, brother. You got it.
It's all on me. That is not my parents' fault for how they raised me.
But you're the exception, not the rule.
Look, I didn't want that experience, first of all.
No, because she had to deal with me.
Please, I'd have run away at that point.
Right, because that wasn't gonna be nice.
That was gonna be a beating, a cursing out. Oh no!
Not when I talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. No.
Nope.
Talk and talk and talk and talk.
I just ran away at that point. See y'all.
Plus, then we had the sex agreement I had with you.
Yeah.
So then there you go. We had the sex contract.
But then too, it was like boys at my age were stupid. It was just like stupidity was just not sexy. Like no. Like what?
Right, because I think girls have to have a certain amount of about yourself, self-respect, for yourself, and don't fall for all the hype and all that nonsense. No. Back in high school, I had a lot of boys that would hit on you and were trying to get you. You're like, because you know what that thing that mother's always plays in your head. What your mother said, it plays in your head, and that outweighs, that trumps anything. When you know what's happened with you, that trumps anything.
It wasn't even that. It was just some like.
Well, that was that for my girl. So I can hear my mother. Ooh, no, baby.
No, I still heard you too, but it was more like school and that stuff. I just didn't have time. I had like groups of friends. I was hanging out.
I'm like, that's why I said, thank God for my child. Thank God. It wasn't me. It was all God. Because I could say, that's what God. Ooh, thank you, Jesus. Because I did the best. Lord have mercy. I did a lot of prayer, a lot of cursing. All right, Dr. Fight, thank you for on the couch. We miss Dr. Fight. We're going to get into y'all sports because I know y'all chomping at the bits to get to the sports rep.
I'm chomping at the bit. I don't know about Dr. Fight.
Let me just say this on the whole sports thing. Let me just say this. I need your prayers. But if you don't know, if you ain't going to pray for me, don't pray at all. Just take it as news. I am right now in my fantasy leagues I'm in 3 different fantasy leagues right now. And I am in first place in all of them. And I'm going for the trifecta of 3 championships in one fantasy season. I'm going for all 3. Right now, I'm ahead in 2 of the 3 in this first round of the playoffs. That's the second round of one league. And so I'm in heading two. I'm only behind by like 10 points going in tonight, and I have two players playing tonight. And so I'm hoping I've already won one, so I'm already moving on. That's the Big Woo Sports Radio Talk Fantasy League. I beat Big Woo in the first round of the playoffs. He has nobody playing. I have nobody playing tonight, and I'm blowing him out by like 40 points. So I'm moving on for that one, and the other one I am ahead right now, but they have somebody playing tonight, and I'm so far ahead, like they've really got to have a grand, fantastic night. So I'm trying to complete as fantasy football comes to an end, as the season is ending. I am trying to compete and complete 3 championships of 3 different. So 2 weeks left in the season. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Well, see, so down in Carolina, the Carolina Panthers, they beat the Bucks. They are in control of the NFC South at 8-7. So let's see if they gonna pull out the win. They would win the division for the first time since what, in 10 years?
Yeah, it's been a minute, but one thing I can say is the Bucks are falling fast. I thought this was their division to lose, and they are losing it. They do play the Panthers again in 2 weeks for the last game of the season. So if the Panthers win this week and beat them, obviously they'll take the division. But if they win one and lose one, then it's all dependent on what the Bucks do. But right now, Carolina owns the tiebreaker for beating them this past week. So they're a game ahead of the Bucks to take the division.
In the NFC East, they finally have a repeat champion after 21 years.
First time in 50 years.
Right. The Philadelphia Eagles won that division again.
Wow.
So the Cowboys have officially been eliminated.
Again.
And I could care less. Good riddance, as I call it.
And this is why I'm so happy about that. Because, see, as a Giants fan, we have been down for a few years now, right?
Do you think you all have your quarterback before you?
Oh, we got our quarterback. I am. Now, if he can learn how to slide, we'll be okay. But until then, we'll deal with the crazy any day, because he brings a new energy to the team, and he brings a swag that I think has been missing for a while. And most quarterbacks don't have that. I mean, you have somebody else on the team that presents that in the locker room. But if Malik Neighbors and all these other guys are not going to do it in the locker room, to have Jackson Dart do it, it's good. Him and Cam Scatterboo are a good match for the New York Giants. I just think that they'll, so we're building. But what I was saying is this is what I love. So even if my Giants win the last 2 games, which I think they're tanking the season anyway, so they're putting everybody on IR that can potentially help us win. So I think they're tanking the season for draft picks, right? So we will have a worse record, but we will be at the same place when the playoffs start at home. So everybody that was working so hard to make the playoffs and doing all this, talking all this trash, we're going to get there, you're going to be in the same exact spot that my New York Giants. The only difference is our draft pick will be a lot higher than yours. Like, I mean, so for me, it's like, you did all that talking of trash to get nothing in return.
But it's the Cowboys. They always do. Every year they're winning the Super Bowl. You have not won the Super Bowl since I was 4. It ain't happening.
I guess they have to hype themselves up in order to maybe to believe their own madness.
No,
that was in 1995. They won the last Super Bowl.
I was getting ready to turn 4. I was 3. 30 years.
They won their last Super Bowl, and so who was I in 95? I was 12, about to turn 95.
Do the math.
I was 13, about to be 14 at the end of that year. So Wow.
They ain't done nothing. And they not gonna do nothing till Jerry Jones, whatever happened, till he go back to his business, they're not gonna win.
You know, somebody told me that the Cowboys have the curse of Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin.
Yeah, so the year after they won their last Super Bowl, Michael Irvin went on trial for the sex parties and at the mansion that he owned. That basically he would let all his other teammates use it to cheat on their spouses, and he would go do drugs.
It's vaguely familiar to me.
Yeah.
It's vaguely familiar.
Right, and so after that year, the team took a major dive and has never really recovered since then. And so a lot of people have deemed the Cowboys have the curse of Michael Irvin. And it's not. Why you move Brianna out of the way like that? What in the world?
She got get down out the way. I'm trying to see.
Look, I'm fine here like this in one block.
but yeah, I don't know how true it is. I mean, because the Cleveland Browns, they always talk about the curse of Joe Brown, I think it was.
Well, they do that. So they probably do have some kind of whammy on them. Dallas, they probably do have some kind of whammy on them. As I said, I thought for years, Chicago teams suck on a regular, and so Chicago teams got some kind of curse on them too.
Well, hey, Chicago could potentially win the NFC.
Well, I ain't saying that now. I'm like, okay, come on now. But I tell brother, I said, but it is Chicago team. So I'm telling people, hold on.
I get that.
Hold on.
Look, I'm just gonna go here. Nobody, including me, nobody thought the Bears were gonna be in a position to win the NFC North.
So, and here's the question that I guess Bears fans have to wrestle with: is Caleb Williams the quarterback to lead you to the promised land?
I don't know yet.
You know what? Here's the thing. I was at one room. I can hear brother. She said, "Brother's like, oh, this sound she made." I was like, "What are you screaming for?" But when I saw the boy throw that pass, I was like, "Wow, how many yards was that?" Because that was one beautiful pass. Bomb. Well, Dr. Price, I got to get up on that.
I'm just saying. Here's the thing: we were playing the Packers. Jordan Love got knocked out. I have reserved myself to the fact that it was 16. We were going to lose. All of a sudden, I look at the score on ESPN. It says 16 on. I'm like, what the heck happened? I went back and watched the highlights. They recovered the onside kick. The undrafted rookie caught the game time touchdown. And then, this was poetic justice. So, DJ Moore, he caught the game-winning touchdown overtime, but he caught it against the guy that cheap shot him in the back earlier in the game.
Okay, well.
But he paid you back for that one.
I mean, it was a beautiful catch because I was just like, wow, how did you even catch that ball? It was a beautiful pass, beautiful catch.
He ran, then I was just like, oh. But again, this is when you get the right coach. We got Ben Johnson. So, Ben Johnson he's working it out. I'm just saying, I thought the Bears were going to get like 7 wins. Nobody thought 11-4. And it's not even clicking fully. That's the thing. You're like, what in the world?
When they first,
and they honored the 85 Bears, didn't they?
Yeah, I can say I remember that.
So
highly. I was very
I remember that. All of them were there. Mike Singletary.
Oh, Singletary was there.
Singletary, Ron Rivera.
The stadium was crazy. The stadium was on fire.
I saw it because I couldn't believe it. I just knew.
Because she asked, what the hell you hollering for? She was crying. What are you screaming for?
I want us to keep these things in perspective. Michael Parsons is hurt. And obviously, next man up, they got to play the game.
Oh, you're giving the Green Bay Packers an excuse for the reason why they lost.
I'm not giving them an excuse. I'm just saying, would Michael Parsons has closed out games by himself at the end of the game. Like, he's a madman when it comes to the fourth quarter and needing a stop. Would they have been as successful? Now, I said the same thing when everybody was going crazy about 3-4 weeks ago about Shedeur Sanders And he got his first full start against the Raiders, and then they win the game, and everybody is out here calling him the next Joe Montana, Tom Brady, and all of these other references about him being the next great quarterback of the NFL. Dude, you played the Raiders. Like, let's keep it in perspective here. But everybody's then start telling me, "Oh, you're a hater. I want the boy to be successful."
Anybody that sees the Raiders, you can't call them the Las Vegas Raiders. Anybody that sees the Raiders on your schedule, that's the equivalent of a second bye week.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, then now, granted, I believe Kevin Stefanski threw the game, the next game. They had a 2-point conversion.
Oh, he didn't put Shador in.
And they took Shador out,
yeah.
And they ran a wildcat with the running back to try to score the 2 points, and they didn't get it. And so they basically blamed the coach for making that play or calling that play at that time when Shador had been playing. Okay, I get that argument. I'm with that. But he ain't done nothing since. He won one game since he's been a starter. One game.
Right.
Now, they were in the game this past week. They lost by field goal.
Is that his fault, or is it that has to do with the coaching? Is it the coaching not really letting him start and letting him play?
It's probably a little bit of both, but I will say this.
Listen.
I was just highly offended because I think it's LaShawn McCoy. He does speak easy. I was just a little offended. He gonna open his mouth like, "Well, Shador is gonna be better than Caleb." Okay, roll that back. Calm your nerve. And then what happened to the? You said that it what happened to the Cleveland Browns? They got whooped 31-3 by the Bears. Don't open your mouth with that stupidity.
Well, the difference is to me with Caleb and some others is that he didn't come out strong. I was like, they paid all the money for him for what?
No,
that was when he first was playing with Boston because he was doing nothing. When he first came up, in my opinion,
because they should have fight. We had Matt Eberflus, who is now the defensive coordinator for Dallas, and look at Dallas's defense. It is awful. The man don't get fired again. We should have fired him before we drafted Caleb. That was the problem.
But okay, so everybody that's out here giving Shador all of these accolades, right? Let's think about this logically. Shador Sanders on yesterday, and I had to pull up the stats to make sure I was correct, went 20 for 29. Now, when you complete 20 passes in the NFL, if you average, let's say, anywhere between 7 to 10 yards, that's 200 yards passing.
Yeah,
right? To complete 20 passes. He only recorded 157 yards passing, 1 TD, and 2 interceptions. And y'all telling me that's greatness?
Well, I think they're looking for any reason because he's Deion Sanders' son. So I think that on the same token, I think they give him a hard time because who his daddy is. So I think the boy is caught between,
I understand that, but
a rock and a hard place.
But on the same token, they ain't got no receivers in Cleveland. Their receivers is like no. He's tried to help Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy has dropped like at least 2 or 3 of his passes. I mean, I think he will get better, but it's also the coach really does not want to play him.
I think
that's another issue. And then it's like every time they lose, then like the media is trying to bait him and saying this about his coach. It's just all bad in Cleveland. Cleveland, let's just say, is a dumpster fire of an organization. They're like the Cincinnati Bengals. They suck. They're cheap. They don't want to pay people. They suck.
Now the Bengals will pay you. Then they paid Jamar Chase and they paid
Joe Burrow went on TV and basically said Jamar needs to get paid, T needs to get paid, and Trey Hendrickson, they didn't want to. They had to sell the rights to their stadium just to pay them.
So speaking of stadium, what do y'all think about Kansas City moving out of Kansas City?
Well, I read that. I said, yeah. Nobody care. I don't even like.
They going to Kansas in 2031.
I don't care.
They got the curse of you know who. That's why they are awful.
They got the Trump curse.
I'm telling you, ever since Trump picked them to win the Super Bowl, they got annihilated in the Super Bowl. They didn't win a game. Patrick Mahomes got hurt. The other quarterback almost tore his ACL. And that ain't like, woo!
So they need a whole bunch of prayer.
They need an exorcism. They got a demon around there. They don't know what to do. They probably like, what's going on with that demon?
Well, like I told Pastor Patterson, he's the only he's the only Kansas City Chiefs fan that I know personally. You know they got fans. I ain't saying they don't have no fans, but I don't know him personally. I know him personally. He grew up in Kansas City. He grew up right around the corner from their current stadium. And so he has been a Chiefs fan all his life. Now, I told him, because he was in Orlando last week and we went to dinner. I told him, I said, listen, your Chiefs were only in the Super Bowl last year because of the referees. Okay. I mean, y'all had more 1-win games than anybody I have ever seen. And it came down to a flag at the end of the game that bailed you all out.
And they
bailed
had,
your offense out.
They had 11 one-score wins last season.
Right.
Can't buy a one.
You can't reduplicate that every year.
No.
And they lost those games this year. And so it's like, and granted, don't get me wrong, the Giants in what 13, 14, we had the same stat. We were like 8 or 9 games by 1 wins, and we ended up going to the Super Bowl and winning. So it's like, I mean, you can't reduplicate that every year in the season. The way fate happens, it happens. I get it, but please don't think your team is great when you're only beating people by a field goal. Like, I mean, right. You don't think you're about to repeat become this great franchise when you're not blowing nobody out.
You have to see some of their games from last season. One game, they won on the field goal. Kid you not, the field goal bounce, and some magic went in. They beat the Denver Broncos, they lost yesterday to the Jacksonville Jaguars, snapping their 11-game win streak, but they're still 12-3. They beat them last year because they blocked the field goal. Like the stuff that they won by last year, I'm like, that's not gonna happen this year.
It's not something you can recreate every year, and that should have been the telltale sign for the organization that teams have caught up.
Right.
When you were dominating, making it to 4 Super Bowls in 5 years, and winning the division every year under Andy Reid, like teams were catching up, and you were only now winning by 1 score last year. And now that you're losing those same games this year, you can't sit here and say, oh, because our team is hurt, this, that, and the third. No, they had been, ever since you got rid of Tyreek Hill, teams have been catching up. Like they've been making slow progress.
Right, you had the same team. And the thing about it is they probably should have been like, fix the offensive line, get better receivers, get a better running game. They should have done all that, but they're like, oh, we keep making it to the Super Bowl, so we're not going to do it. Guess what? Now you got to do it.
So now they're going
to the problem that successful franchises have that they have yet to figure out when it comes to like the Patriots, what they were able to do is you got to figure out how to keep your salary cap low by bringing in the same level of talent, but your Super Bowl winning talent, you're going to have to let them go at some point, but you got to replace them with talent that's just as good that you don't have to pay as much for. So it's a gamble, and it's a part of it. Hold on, my daughter here went.
Man, that's the thing. They never retooled the way they needed to, and now it's costing.
Yeah, that's right. You can tell that they never went to bringing in new talent.
No,
they just kept it going on and on.
They just felt like, oh, we're gonna run it back because we keep winning.
Right? But then they weren't looking at how they were winning. They were just happy they were winning.
They got punched in the mouth this year.
And now people are asking, is Andy Reid the coach for the future? Like, is Andy Reid the guy that can turn it around to get them back to that prominence, or was he the guy to rebuild the franchise to get them to where they are now? Now you need somebody else.
Or is Travis Kelce going to retire after this year? I think he might.
Well, he getting married next year, so.
Yeah, and him and Taylor, Taylor, she ain't saying she's got a new tour coming. So they might want to settle into, married life and have children and stuff. Yeah.
Dude, you got 3 Super Bowl titles. You are A-okay. Go. They say no, Kansas City has been eliminated. I mean, it's going to be all new. I will say this much. If the Buffalo Bills don't win the Super Bowl this year, They're just never gonna win it because they don't have a better shot than right now. Because Patrick Mahomes is out, Joe Burrow is out, and Lamar Jackson's on his way out. None of those, the Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Kansas City Chiefs, are not in the playoffs.
Well, they got to go against the Bears.
Well, if that happened, they wouldn't be into the Super Bowl because Buffalo Bills are AFC, Bears are NFC.
But they would have to play each other, right?
If they both make it to the Super Bowl.
If they both make it to the Super Bowl.
Now, I'm not gonna go that far. Now, there are some Bears fans that say we're gonna make the Super Bowl. I ain't going that far.
Oh, I never go that far. In the Chicago team, until you get there, I don't make no bets.
I'm not going that far.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I mean, you have the Rams are 11-4, Seattle's 12-3, the 49ers right now are playing. They're 10-4. I mean, the Bears are the number 2 seeds because we're losing the division right now. And so, if the playoff, if the seeding holds how it is, then we would end up having to play Green Bay for the 3rd time because it'll be the 7 and the 2 matchup.
Oh God, Green Bay will be out for blood again. So there you go.
Maybe, but we're winding down the season.
Thank God, football is almost over.
Hey, listen.
Football goes fast.
Football may be almost over, but the fiasco of football is not. The Giants still need a head coach, and the names I'm hearing, I ain't happy with.
Oh Lord, who you hearing now?
The newest name just dropped that I saw today was Marcus Freeman.
From Notre Dame?
Notre Dame head coach, highly sought after. He's now emerging to the top of the list from what I read earlier. Obviously, Jeff Hafley, I think it's his job to lose, to be honest with you. He's the Packers defensive coordinator right now.
Oh, okay.
And what's his name? Lou Anarumo, the Colts defensive coordinator. I think they're looking for a defensive mind. And Steve Spagnuolo always will continue to interview for the Giants job, even though it's kind of like a battered woman syndrome. They're not going to hire you, but you're still in love with them. Like they're not going to hire you. I'm sorry. I mean, I love Spag. I mean, the Super Bowls we have won, he was the defensive mastermind that helped us win those Super Bowls. Steve Spagnuolo will always be beloved. He's the current defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's done he has an amazing career, but he's a horrible head coach. I mean, he has as an interim head coach, he has a horrible record, and as the head coach, he has a horrible record. But as a defensive coordinator, he is the guy.
he's like the defensive court. He's like the defensive side of Josh McDaniels, because every time Josh McDaniels tries to go be a head coach, awful.
It's awful. I mean,
great.
You just know how to do an offense, Now, granted, before Lane Kiffin went to LSU, they were talking about him coming to the Giants only because he was Jackson Dart's college football coach, and they are trying to appease Jackson Dart in part of this process to give him the kind of coach that he can work with to be successful, because he's basically going to be the franchise player moving forward. And so I don't know if I really agree with that. I think he should focus on playing football and let football minds make football decisions. Like that's just my approach to it. You appease a player and it doesn't work out. Now, it's hard to make business decisions because you want to keep the player, but you can't keep going with the coach that's losing. I just won't, granted, now I did hear Mike McCarthy. Mark McCarthy. I don't want to see that at all.
Oh, Mike McCarthy.
At all. He didn't win nothing with the Cowboys when he was there. We don't want him. I said, if you ain't got a proven track record, we don't need you. This is Big Blue. This is New York, baby.
Just because you said that, they always go with the loser. Just because you said that.
Dr. Fight gonna have a whole attitude.
You got to win. Now, I need to ask y'all this before we get off. I need y'all to ask y'all this. Who's going to win the college football playoff?
Well, I don't even know who. I have no answer. I couldn't tell you.
Indiana.
Oh, Indiana in.
Mhm.
They ain't gonna win though.
They the
Indiana,
number one ranked team.
yeah,
I don't
the
care. They ain't
number
gonna
one
win.
team. They play Alabama in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, they ain't gonna win.
first.
I'm sorry.
They ain't
I
gonna
think
win.
Indiana, like, I'd have to keep, like, Alabama. That was my dad's college team. Alabama ain't winning. I'm sorry. Alabama has looked like straight trash for a month. They looked horrible against Oklahoma. The only reason they won is because Oklahoma shot themselves in the foot. No. If Alabama beats Indiana, then they deserve to win. Because I just do not have you. Okay, well, you don't watch college, but have you
Yeah, I don't
seen
watch college
Indiana?
either.
Oh, I have.
Indiana is like that.
Well, they have the Heisman winning player in the quarterback, Mendoza.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
He won everything. He won the Heisman. He was AP Player of the Year.
But I think that has lit a fire under the quarterback for Ohio State, Slaying.
Oh, Julian.
With him losing that, I think we're going to see obviously a hot Miami team that comes in to play them on the 31st. Ohio State and Miami plays. I think Ohio State has too much talent for Miami. I think Miami is a great football team. They got in over Notre Dame, and I think rightfully so. I don't think Alabama should have got in over Notre Dame, though, but I don't think Tulane should have got in. I don't think JMU should have got in. However,
did you see those games? They definitely shouldn't have got in.
Well, not necessarily, though. JMU put up 34 points against Oregon, a team that was supposed to be like that game wasn't supposed to be as close as it was.
Okay.
I mean, that defense of Oregon was exposed against a lesser JMU team. So I don't think Oregon is going to beat Texas Tech. I really don't know if it's going to be a game. Even though odds, I think Vegas has Oregon a 1.5 favorite in the game. They obviously didn't watch that game against JMU.
They didn't, but they never watch a lot of games because I think they. Everyone's like Alabama, Indiana. Alabama has a shot. Alabama ain't got no shot.
Alabama is. It's a historical team that's always going to be in the conversation. I really believe the true sign is going. I think Ohio State is going to advance, but this game, Ole Miss versus Georgia, that game right there,
that's gonna be a dogfight.
That's gonna be a game. To me, that's the national championship of games.
Yeah.
It's going to be a game. And I think Ohio State will face the winner of that game. And the winner of the Ohio State and the winner of that game will probably be the national champions, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because if Georgia beats Ole Miss or Ole Miss beat Georgia, they're going to be a good competitor against this Ohio State team that's hungry, that hadn't played since their loss in the conference championship.
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to be ready to come out in all cylinders versus Miami. And then once they feel like they've avenged themselves, I think they probably need to keep that momentum. But if they don't, they're going to run into a hungry Ole Miss or Georgia team that's really going to give them, that has just as much talent on both of those two teams, on defense and on offense. Lane Kiffin has built an offensive juggernaut in Ole Miss. Like, this can put up 40, 50 points a week.
We shall see. But all I'm going to say to Notre Dame is if they want to get into the college football playoff, join the conference. You can't get mad. You had a cupcake schedule. And then think we're going to get, no, you didn't get in. Yeah. And then next year, if they go, 12-0, they automatically get a bid to the, no.
So the rule next year, and this is the only thing, I completely agree with you, Brianna, but the problem that I have was with the committee. If you are going to value Miami and Alabama over Notre Dame, then you should have ranked them over Notre Dame the whole year.
Yeah. Because when they flipped it and they had Notre Dame was 9 and then Alabama was 10. what would you do that for if you were just gonna put Alabama in anyway? Like that was stupid.
Teams and I get the Alabama jump because what the committee said was they were not going to penalize a team for playing in their conference championship and losing.
Yeah.
They weren't going to do that. And so they even kept Ohio State as the number 2 team, even though they were number 1 going into the championship. They lost and came number 2. And since Indiana beat them, they came number 1.
Yep.
They didn't really penalize them too much by dropping them to like 4 or 5.
Right.
They kept them in the top 2, which, okay, fine. You stuck to that rule. The only problem I have is the college football playoff should be the 12 best teams.
And it never did. So, I mean, Notre Dame should have been if you were going to do the 12 best teams.
Exactly, because they are better than Tulane and JMU. The problem is with the rules, you reserve 2 spots for conference champions. Mm-hmm. And since Duke won the ACC with, 6 losses, 5 losses?
Yeah.
They decided, that team was not one of the 12 best teams, even though they won the ACC against Virginia. Now, if Virginia would have won, they probably would have put Virginia in the college football playoff. But since they lost to a 5-loss Duke, then they was like, no. So then they valued JMU more because of their record, 11-1. But you didn't play anybody. Now, watching that game, I give JMU a lot of credit. Their defense probably couldn't make enough stops for the offense to stay in the game, but the offense looked great against that Oregon defense. And playing against the Texas Tech, I don't know, with a better defense to be able to stop Oregon, I don't see Oregon getting past this next round. I really don't. But JMU, I take my hat off, and I'm not just saying that because one of my coworkers, Miss Barksdale, her son is a cornerback, number 32, DJ Barksdale, for JMU, and they were at the game in Oregon, her and her husband. And I'm not saying that because I know you're a young man. I'm saying that because I actually watched the game, and
they were going back. I'm like, wow.
They did an awesome job. I just think that offense really showed that. I think. No, Tulane is losing their coach. I don't know about JMU.
I don't think so.
I don't think JMU is losing their coach. But I think with this team being intact and their coach and staff coming back for another, I think JMU can really make some noise. And truthfully, they just joined the Division I college football conference 5 years ago in 2020. So in 5 years, every year they've had a winning record. I think they've lost in one season no more than 3 games. And so going 8-3, 9-2, 11-1, like this team and the culture that they're building in JMU, they have to get in a more powerful conference though, if they really want to be considered year in and year out. Because as the rules are changing to enter into college football, they will never be attractive beyond the independent Notre Dame and beyond Power 5 conferences because they automatically get bids.
All right, you guys, that's sports wrap. Did I give us a lot of sports?
There's a lot going on.
I know there's a lot going on. Anyway.
There's a lot going on. They're bringing back, what is it called? Rivaled? The women's, 3-on-3?
Unrivaled. The women's.
Unrivaled. There you go.
Yeah. Well, good. It's the women's 3-on-3 league, I think, started by Neficia Collier. And yeah.
What is it?
It's a basketball league.
Oh, tell me something. Okay, clarify. Oh, okay.
It's a 3-on-3 league. I think it starts on the 5th.
Yeah.
They have what is it? 9 teams or 7 teams, something like that.
3.
8 teams. There are 8 teams.
It's interesting when you watch it. They have their expansion teams that start in 2026. Oh. The WNBA is growing.
Okay. Well, there you have it. There's our Christmas show. Yeah, it was a big one today too. Thank you all. We missed Dr. Fight. Thank you, Dr. Fight. We are out for the rest of the week. We will be back next Monday because that's the week of New Year's.
Right. Everybody happy New Year.
So we have to wish everybody Happy New Year. Anyway, everybody have a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Feliz Navidad. Did I miss anything?
I think you covered them.
Christ. Christmas.
I said Merry Christmas.
Hey, you said all that other stuff too.
I said Merry Christmas.
I also support Hanukkah. But anyway, other than that,
I said Happy Hanukkah.
I mean Kwanzaa, not Hanukkah. Hanukkah is the Jewish.
Listen, we all in this together. We all in this together.
Kwanzaa.
I said Happy Kwanzaa.
Piece of hair grease.
Piece of hair grease. Dr. Fight, you guys have a Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
And don't eat too much. Dr. Fight, guess what? I'm catering this year. I'm not cooking.
Bougie much?
Don't bug your eyes like that. I said I'm only cooking some sweets, but I'm catering my Christmas dinner.
She took a page out of her mother's book.
Does that look like my mother?
Hey, you should have told me. I would have came and catered for you if you was paying.
Oh, yeah, but I don't want to have to make my hands dirty. I don't want to do nothing.
Don't worry about it. I could have took you the right price. I would have listen. Your people would have said, "Look, I don't know who made this, but they need to be cooking every year from now on." You know what I mean? Every year, I promise you. I look. It would have been the greatest Christmas dinner ever.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna enjoy it because I ain't got to cook this here, so I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy it, just bring it in and set it up and make it all beautiful. That's it for me. Well, I am gonna make my pies. I'm gonna make my buttermilk pies. That's it.
Well, you make your pie, and I'm
My
going.
And you go eat your caramel.
This is my last Christmas in this house, so
You ain't done that yet. Oh, okay. You ain't done that yet.
We're gonna do Christmas, and then we got another home, but we'll be moving this stuff as boxes everywhere, and so we'll be moving stuff this weekend after Christmas, but we will celebrate Christmas for our last Christmas in this beautiful home that we built from the ground up. And it was thought the house that I was gonna live in forever, but I had other plans, and
so you make plans. There you go.
That's right. So we praise God for his many blessings, but this is bittersweet Christmas for us and the Fight family. But my kids are excited. Everybody is happy. And so
that's wonderful.
I'm looking to bless my family one last time. I'm gonna probably be poor after this Christmas because we
Nope. You're going to keep getting more and more financial blessings.
Amen. So anybody that need a professor, a preacher, a commentator, anything, I'm a jack of all trades. Call me. I need your blinds put up or anything.
Oh my God!
I'll just my drill.
Okay. Well, anyway, Merry Christmas, you all. Merry Christmas, everyone. You guys have been great to us this season. Thank you so much. You've been killing us on TikTok. So, I don't know what to say about that one. Thank you guys so much, and many, many more blessings. And Dr. Fight, if you can, we'll be back here next Monday, same time.
Same time.
Same time. Look at him. What is with the shirt? Ugly Christmas sweater. Oh man, it is ugly. Oh, wow. I was like, what is that? All right, you guys. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas from L. Brown and Dr. Fight. Peace out.